I would say once, and it wasn't even, I jumped into a conversation and someone was asking him about LeBron. Like, it wasn't even me.
Boy, this is ponderous, man. Ponderous.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Cap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
When I'm on vacation, you can talk all the schwanz you want.
Right. Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Bit boy.
Well, you want to woo-woo? Right now.
Monstrous.
Beto, I don't want to eat that.
We did it, Dad. We did it.
You were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time.
So
my girlfriend Jean went to Korea and had salmon sperm injected into her face.
Beautiful.
Okay, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. That salmon sperm's going to make all the difference tonight, brother.
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
This is Pepe Mantilla, your Spanish voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. This is the Sedano and Cap Morning Show on ESPN LA. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, Beto, where you been, homeboy?
Oh, yes! 7:03, good morning. The Sedano and Cap Morning Show. I left the Beto drop in there because it's Kobe Walsh, one of our MCs, one of his favorite drops. So I left it in there for a Friday. And I don't have an Andy drop technically yet.
Come on, Andy.
But Andy Kamenetzky
give me a few hours. I'll give you one.
Sitting in this morning for Sedano.
May I see it?
May I see it, Andy? Because, Andy's a big Boogie Nights guy.
May I see it?
Right now?
If you want.
Right now.
Andy Kamenetzky is here on a Feel Good Friday, a Schwanzaholic Friday, on this 31st of July, 2026. The final day of July as August 1st begins tomorrow. Kappy will be live at Rams training camp tomorrow, by the way. What time is that?
Well, I believe I'm going live at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon.
You sound real confident about that.
Well, I was confident about it, and then we've been putting up this graphic all week that said 12 noon. I've been telling everybody all week.
Is that what
wrong.
you want to bring up right now?
I mean, come on.
Sore subject around here, Kappy.
Oh, is it really? Sore subject?
Yeah, there was a few things wrong on that graphic.
Oy vey.
But yes, you are correct, Kappy. 4 o'clock tomorrow. You and Marcus Grant is going to be killer.
Oh, I can't wait.
You got a sock puppet for Marcus?
Why do I need the sock puppet
like
for
you
Marcus?
did at that remote.
Well,
I like the sock puppets, but
yeah. I took those thrifty socks.
You should just be a freak with Marcus. Freak him out.
Well, I definitely have a business proposition I have to talk to him about tomorrow afternoon. I'm serious.
During the show?
Yeah. Yeah, if there's any downtime at all, I'm going to talk to him about a business prop I got for him. You want to know what it is, Andy?
It's fantasy football.
Yes.
You want to pay him to draft your team, don't you?
Not just draft my team, because I don't think I can pay him to draft. I actually have to go and do the drafting. Once I draft the team, I want to hand off every ounce of responsibility to Marcus. I don't want to hear about the team. I don't want to know about the team. I want to be a fan of the team. I want to hire Marcus to be my general manager of my team, and that's it. I don't want anything to do with it.
I think this is an excellent idea, Kappy, but if you're going to do this go all the way, you said you have to be there to draft your team. That's
right.
fine. Mm-hmm. But what you should do is have Marcus on a phone somewhere. You have some type of earpiece.
Yes.
And he whispers into your ear every pick, and basically he just plays shadow GM from the very beginning.
Right. And I don't want the other guys in the league to know, because they're going to be like, wait a second, you got a guy from the NFL Network. He knows more than we do. This is unfair. Nonsense. This is my third year entering this league. It cost a ridiculous amount of money. I only do it because I'm pressured into it by some friends, and I've never won. I've never even come close to winning. I want to win. I want to stop spending this amount of money, but I don't have the skills and I don't have the attention level to handle it. So I'm going to talk to Marcus. I'm going to say, Marcus, I will be the team owner. I will pay the money for the league. You are the general manager. And at the end of the year, if we win the pot, which is a pretty significant amount of money,
you understand,
I'll
Marcus
split it 50-50.
is like a professional, right?
Yeah, I do.
He works for the NFL Network doing fantasy football.
Correct.
So why would he want to do your fantasy? What are you going to pay him?
I'm going to give him 50-50 of the winnings.
That's not worth it to him.
No, okay, he also, Kappy, just so you know, he also has like legitimately 16 leagues.
Yeah, I understand.
So what's a 17th then? I mean,
well,
if you can balance
he's
16,
not
you
going
can
to
balance
focus. He's not going
17.
to focus on your league the way that you want to be focused on.
Okay, that's a good point, Bergie. Let me ask you guys a question then. If Marcus is the wrong guy, I got to find the right guy or girl. I don't really care to me. As long as you can help me win this league.
It's 2026.
Yeah, I don't care. As long as you can help me win this league, I'm willing to put up the money for the league. I need somebody to actually manage the team because it's really not how your roster starts in this league. It's about how it finishes because this is not a draft. It's an auction. Do you guys know the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't. The first time I showed up, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
You bid on players. But what about Funchy? You want to be his GM?
Nah.
Why not?
Nah, I'm going to lose. I don't want Kappy to blame me for his loss.
No, but Funch, I won't blame you. I will just reward you if we win. But you have to be like really, really, really 100% committed.
I can't do that, no. And I suck at auction ones.
Okay, Kappy, I am not claiming to be an expert, but I did win my league last year.
Okay.
I'm open to conversations. I'll just say if you cannot find anybody else you find more suitable, I am open to this conversation. And if I make a commitment, I cannot promise you a win. Yeah. But I will promise you the commitment.
Okay, see, the commitment is a big part of it for me because I just don't have the commitment level to it. And so it's a look, you could multiply your money in this league by like 5 times. So can I be honest?
Your league sounds like a pyramid scheme.
It is an embarrassment. I swear to God.
Most things in Kappy's life are a pyramid scheme.
Right. This one though, Andy, I'm telling you that you got to pay a significant amount of money.
Do I have to buy some berries in the beginning before I get into this league, and then that type of pyramid thing going?
If you want to play with Kappy's berries, go ahead.
Yeah, right. I'm open to it. Hey, it is the summer of Schwans. That's exactly right.
So Kappy,
Andy, yeah.
Coming up ahead, let's just say we've gone like 3.5 minutes on this. I don't think we're really squeezing much more out.
No, you don't think so?
I don't know. Is there another hook to this, or?
Well, I would say the hook to this is that this is the 3rd year in a row that I'm playing in this league. It's a big, giant waste of money thus far. However, if I could win this league this year and bring back all the money I've spent, it wouldn't be a waste. That's all. Andy, help me.
So how much money are we talking about?
To join the league?
Yeah.
Do you guys really want me to? Because it's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, a payoff to the 5 minutes we've done on this would be nice. So if it's like $10,000, then okay.
No, it's not $10,000, but it's $2,000.
So Marcus Grant would be doing all this work for $1,000?
No. He would put in zero money. I would front the money, and then last year the winner won $10,000.
Okay.
So think about it. He puts in zero. He gets back 5. Is that worth it?
What if I give him 5 to say no to you?
Wow.
Wait. Instead of that, think about it differently. Think about it like this. How about you give me 1,000?
Okay.
We become partners, and we hire Marcus. And then at the end of it all, when we split it 3 ways. So now Marcus gets 3, you get 3, and I get 3.
I never knew if I wanted to be in a 3-way with Marcus, but maybe.
Yes.
All right. 7:09. We can discuss it more. I'm sure that we'll figure out a way.
Right.
Up ahead, Jorge Sedano. He has to scratch that itch for the summer of Schwans. He is still on vacation technically until Thursday of next week, right?
Right.
But he wants to come on today live from ESPN New York to scratch that morning show itch. He'll join us at 8 o'clock. Tisha Thompson, who is got the 30 for 30 podcast about Ippei and that whole mess. She's going to try to tell us more about the person who was putting bets on for Ohtani.
I am so excited to talk to her.
I'm glad you are.
Really excited.
I am not done with my tease. And then Evan Cohen will be in the 9 a.m. hour at 9:40. We will take calls on what's your favorite color. We're behind on that. And then Sedano will rate the calls.
Yeah,
so if you've always wanted to call this show, and we did it a few Fridays ago. In fact, we played that back yesterday when Fungy was screening as part of our best of. And I want to get to that in a moment, Kappy, and give you some space for that. But that's all ahead on the show. A feel-good Friday, a Schwanzaholic Friday. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Bergie will talk Dodgers with Bergie's 3 things. But yesterday we ran a impromptu best of, and thank you for producer Lindsay Baseball's hard work and producer Jorge to do that. It was great to relive some of the best moments from the last few weeks. We've been funny, especially with the Golden Schwanz Geeter in here.
Yeah.
But obviously the news of your former partner, with the legendary Billy Ray Smith passing away at the age of 64. And obviously I know you've posted a lot on social media and everything, but let's give you some space to talk about that.
Well, hey, first of all, thank you guys. I mean, look, taking the day off the air yesterday was something I had to do. I kept thinking to myself, if I come on the air at 7 o'clock with the bing, ba-dum, bing, doom, ba-dum, bum, like I don't know that I could fake my way through what I was going through. And you want to know something, Chris? The highs and the lows of Wednesday. Because remember, you and I, we got off the air on Wednesday. We drove down to Loyola Marymount to go interview Sean McVay. And me and DeMarco interviewed Sean for 30 minutes in front of our partners, and it was a very small, intimate group. But you got the best of Sean McVay because you got him off camera, off mic, out of public view, and Sean can just be as candid as possible. And it was a real high for me to get off of the stage with Sean and have had such a great conversation with him. And then just a couple hours later, I'd gotten the call that, your former partner, 10-year veteran with the San Diego Chargers, a 4-year starter at the University of Arkansas, played for Lou Holtz, a 2-time All-American, an Outland Trophy finalist, the 5th overall pick in the 1983 draft, which, Andy, 1983, you're talking Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, you're just talking about John Elway, the best of the best quarterbacks, all Hall of Famers from that era. They were all drafted in 1983, and Billy Ray was the 5th overall pick. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, but it wasn't because I didn't know. Of course I knew. His health had been in decline for a very long time. He had been out of the public consciousness for the better part of 5 years. The last time I saw him, which was about, maybe 6 months ago or so, I literally walked away from the lunch and I said, this will be the last time I will ever see this big old rascal. And that's what we called him because he was 6'3", 250, and he had a handshake that would rip your freaking arm right out of its socket. There were hairdressers and surgeons and dentists and people that would refuse to shake his hand because they were worried that he'd break their hands. So he was an incredible guy, larger than life, giant smile, massive laugh. And I'll tell you guys, as a radio partner for 20 years, he treated radio like it was a football game. He studied every statistic. He had massive printouts of paper where he was studying everything going into a radio show. And he was a big brother. He was a best friend. We did everything together for years. And then all of a sudden, we didn't know this, things started to change in his life. And one day we're sitting in the show and we're at a commercial break. And I say to him, I said, Billy Ray, why on God's green earth would you be suing the NFL as part of a concussion settlement? You love the NFL. Your dad played in the NFL. You became rich and famous because of the NFL. Why would you sue the league that provided you this life? And he said to me, because I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years, and I got to make sure my family is taken care of. And as I look back on that conversation now, and I get goosebumps thinking about it, when I look back on that conversation now, here's what I think. He knew. He knew that there were subtle changes happening in his life that as he looked in the mirror, he knew that there was something wrong. But for me or his friends, his family, we may not have seen all of these subtle changes. And then things started to happen. 2012, attitude started to change. Just disposition started to change. And then real quick story. We went to a Super Bowl on Radio Row I don't remember what year it was, 15, 16 in Phoenix. And it was the last day of Radio Row. And we weren't going on the air till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he's on Radio Row with his luggage ready to leave after the show is over. But he's there like 8 hours early. And I get a call from our morning guy, and he goes, hey, Billy Ray's here on Radio Row. What the hell? And I go, oh, man, I told him not to leave his hotel room. Because by this time, I was having to usher him around. I needed to keep my eyes on him. And he took his luggage, and he went to Radio Row 8 hours early because he was panicked constantly about being in the right place at the right time that he wanted to show up so much extra early. At that time, Chris, Andy, Greg, Lindsay, the CTE now was kicking in. The brain damage from football, from youth football, high school football. You're talking about a guy who was 195 pounds playing defensive tackle for a state championship in Texas against, Eric Dickerson. I mean, the highest level of high school football, 45,000 people in Texas Stadium. And he's a skinny kid. He goes to the University of Arkansas, again, 200 pounds, interior defensive lineman. And so the pounding that his head had taken from the time he was 10 years old to the time he was now at this point, 55 or whatever, however old he was, it was starting to show. And the attitude was changing. The disposition in his life was changing. And he knew things were going on, and the rest of us didn't really know. And then that same Super Bowl in Phoenix, we walked into like a Courtyard by Marriott, and he said to me, what are we doing in this casino? And I said, what casino? What are you talking about, man? We're in our hotel. And the sounds, the stimulation around him, his brain was going through massive, massive changes. And at that point, we kind of knew. And in the last 5 years, I just will say this because I've listened. So many 710 listeners have reached out to me on social media because they either listened to us back then or they're Charger fans and they knew Billy Ray's career. We knew about these changes, and in 2020, when he kind of went into retirement, every year it just kind of went down and down and down. And it got to the point where I can remember having lunch and saying, he's looking at me and he has no idea who I am. He's looking through me. And it just was terribly sad to watch a guy who is larger than life, big giant laugh, huge smile, funny, witty, smart, prepared, just to see a guy kind of falling apart as the years go on. And I'll tell you guys honestly, I was going to have a hard time coming on the air yesterday, and I wanted to get back on the air today. And one of the things that really helped me was last night I went to Billy Ray's house, and I sat with his wife and his daughter and his mother-in-law and his son-in-law, and we told stories for hours, and we laughed and we cried and we loved each other. And it just made me feel so much better about jumping back on the air today. So I just say this because I could ramble all day. Thank you guys for giving me the day yesterday. Thank you to all of our listeners who've reached out. I really appreciate you guys. And to this team right here, I'll tell you guys, I love you all. I love working with you all. And if it wasn't for this man, Billy Ray Smith right here, who when I got to San Diego in 2001, I was a loud, obnoxious, East Coast, Jewish. I mean, there was no way I was going to survive in San Diego. But this guy was already a legend in San Diego, and he put his arm around me, and he told the audience, this is my guy. He's here with me. And, okay, last thing. We got fired in 2001. 2003. The Super Bowl between the Raiders and the Buccaneers was going to happen in San Diego. We got fired because Extra Sports 690 was leaving San Diego and it was moving to LA. You guys might remember it became the Superstation. I think it was 1540. But
no,
we
1150 and 690.
Thank you, 1150. And so we were killing 1150 in San Diego, but the parent company said we can't have this. They're killing us. We got to kill them in San Diego so we can make money in LA. Billy Ray and I were the team that was on the out. So that week, this is long before the NFL Network, and this is long before the way ESPN covers the Super Bowl now, there was a local television station, a cable channel called Channel 4 San Diego, and they were going to do the full week of Super Bowl coverage. Billy Ray was going to make $8,000 to be the famous former Charger analyst of the week-long presentation of Super Bowl coverage on this local cable channel. Billy Ray goes to the manager of the television station, and he says, listen, this is my radio partner. We're going to get back on the radio, but right now we're unemployed, and I can't have him leave and move. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the $8,000. I want you to cut $4,000 to me, and I want you to cut $4,000 to him. And I want Scott to be part of the Super Bowl coverage because this is going to keep us exposed, and we're going to get back on the radio. And I remember him telling me, as a matter of fact, we were standing with Mike Golick in line to get into Qualcomm Stadium for whatever media day thing it was. And he said to me, he looked at me, and he goes, he kind of pointed me in my chest, you better not tell my wife that I cut this $8,000 into two, and I gave you half, and I gave me half. And it was because of that moment, I was able to get on TV that week. I was able to do a ton of coverage of the Super Bowl, and before you knew it, this was February-ish. By March, we were back on the radio. So he helped me financially in that moment. He helped me with exposure to keep me locally relevant because I had only been on the air about a year and a half in town. And then just to wrap this whole story up, just to give you an idea of this guy's loyalty, because this guy was a football player through and through. In 2012, I got fired. And the general manager of the radio station told Billy Ray, he goes, you're awesome. We love you. We think you're great. Scott, we hate you. You're fired. And they said to Billy Ray, they go, your choice right now is you stay with him or you stay with us. And Billy Ray goes, I quit on the spot. No questions asked. Screw you guys. You picked the wrong character here. I quit. So this guy saved me at the beginning. He went with me on the way out. And I'll never forget John Lynch Jr., the general manager of the 49ers, coming to me one day, and he goes, man, you are a great friend to Billy Ray. And I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, Scott, I've been listening to the show for 15 years, 20 years. I know he doesn't talk anymore. He just laughs. He can't do the job anymore. He doesn't have any memory left, and you're carrying him. That's what John Lynch said to me. He goes, you're carrying him. And I said to John this, and I'll end it by saying this. I said, John, I'm doing for Billy Ray now what Billy Ray did for me at the beginning. He carried me into Southern California radio, and I'm going to carry him to the finish line because that's what he did for me as a brother, and that's what I'm going to do for him as a brother. So if it sounds like I'm carrying him on the air, maybe I am, but I'll do it for him because that's what he did for me. This was a true legend of a person, not a skeleton in the closet. Lived every day as happy as can be. Thought his daughter was the smartest person on the planet. Thought his wife was the most beautiful woman to ever walk the planet. And just every day said, I've got the greatest life. So, you know what, Billy Ray? You did have the greatest life, man. And you know what, brother? It was a life well lived, and I'll love you forever, brother. Thank you guys for giving me that moment.
Thank you, Kappy. 7:22 in the morning. And what you could have done since this show started is go see our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Be sure to do it this weekend. Get that lube job, Andy, you need so well. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a location near you. Scott and BR, I said it yesterday morning, Scott and BR is the reason why we have a show like this. It's the reason I worked with Tony Bruno and Andrew Siciliano in the early 2000s. Scott and BR in the Southland was an institution. And 690 and then 1090, the mighty 1090, Double X Sports Radio. That's why we're here, because doing, fun sports radio and having entertainment started way back when. So, Kappy, thank you for talking about that. I know it's not easy.
Thank you for giving me that, man. Really, seriously.
And listen, I know we do a lot of jokes about DeMarco and Keyshawn and NFL players and the CTE bits. Obviously, we all mean it in jest, and it's part of our shtick here, and we're having fun, but what Billy Ray went through is a tragedy, and I'm glad you're there to talk about it. I know you were very busy yesterday doing a lot of media. All right, 7:23 in the morning. We'll talk some Dodgers. We'll talk Dodgers baseball with Bergie's Three Things. Andy Kamenetzky in for Sedano. Sedano will be here at 8 a.m. live from ESPN New York. But, Kappy, let's talk about that wellness company, Jack.
Let me tell you something right now. I always tell you, you don't want to be without your medical emergency kit. In other words, you get sick and you're laying in bed, and then all of a sudden you say to yourself, gosh, why didn't I listen to Cap? Why didn't I get that medical emergency kit? Because right now I'm in bed. I've got some kind of sinus infection, or I've got a UTI, or I've got something going on with my stomach. And if I had the medical emergency kit, I'd already have the medication that I need. And then all of a sudden you put this to the test, because Rachel, a few days ago, starts coughing. And now the cough is getting worse. And every day it's like, oh, I don't know. Am I really sick? Because, first you're in that denial. And then finally I said, well, guess what? We are going into the guidebook. And we are going to find the symptoms that you are dealing with, and then we are going to match the medications. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to go to the pharmacy. You don't have to go to urgent care. I've got the medical emergency guidebook right here. I can look up the symptoms, and then I can start to give you this medication so that you can start getting better immediately. And that is what has happened here in my house. So listen, don't wait till it's too late. Make sure you get your medical emergency kit. UrgentCareKit.com/710. UrgentCareKit.com/710. Use our promo code 710. You're saving $45. Get it before it's too late.
Thank you, Kappy. We talk Dodgers baseball 3 minutes from right now on ESPN LA.
It's the summer of spots on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Hey, guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Waba Grill. It's flavorful.
Pick me up and never put me down.
It's quality. It's fresh. It's spicy. Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. A spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed in fiery chili crisp. Get yours now, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Buenos dias. At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
When's the last time payroll was the easy part of your week? With Gusto, it can be. Gusto is the all-in-one platform designed to take the hassle out of managing your team, from payroll and compliance to hiring, onboarding, and more. With Gusto, you can get back 2 full days each month with all the time you've saved. Go to gusto.com today and learn why over 500,000 small businesses choose Gusto. That's GUSTO.com. Gusto.com.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
The Sedano and Kat Morning Show, weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
May I see it? Really? Please.
It's the summer of Schwantz on the Sedano and Kat Morning Show.
But thank you, Eddie. No problem. Thanks, Eddie. Bye.
The Sedano and Kat Morning Show, weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Andy, did you hear the rejoin?
Yes.
No, because you were talking to Funches. We don't do that on this show. We listen to the imagery.
Absolutely,
because that was made for you.
It was the Boogie Nights drop.
Good job,
May I see
Funchy.
it?
Good job.
May I see it?
Guys, you did Lakers talk last night. That was over at 8 p.m. This is the big time now.
We did Destination.
You did? I guarantee it wasn't as good as what we do now. So let's wake up, please. 7:28. Good morning. The Sedano and Kat Morning Show. Andy sitting in for Sedano. This is a bad idea for.
No. Hold on. This was your idea. You said it is important that Andy Kamenetzky get a little bit of Summer of Schwanz. You said you were going to put him through the Schwanz ringer. It is critical that A-Cam is here for his little piece of the Summer of Schwanz.
What was Funchy talking to you about?
What was Funchy talking
about?
To be perfectly
honest, tuna sandwich, ma.
I don't remember because I was listening to the Boogie Nights. And
what were you talking to him about, Funchy?
We were talking about the what was it? The liquid IV stuff.
Oh yeah, the drip drop.
Yeah.
The drip
he
drop.
brought it up. I was
right.
I was over here.
But I am capable of multitasking. I am capable of staying within the spirit of the Summer of Schwanz, which means dealing with a whole lot of stuff swirling around you, and you got to keep your eye on all of it, man. I'm right there.
Right.
It ain't rocket science, buddy.
I don't know. I've heard you do solo work.
Yeah, I've heard you do solo work.
Yeah. Guess what? You want to start that chapter?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Come on, Andy.
I don't even know what chapter it is.
Funchy will be doing Destination for LA Sports before you.
You know what? I kind of want to hear that.
Well, we're going to start that in the fall.
I actually would like to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
On this day in 1988, the #1 hit.
I'm here.
Steve Winwood, roll with it. Cappy, roll with it.
Right on. I am rolling with it.
It
sounds like Andy's rolling with it.
It's also National Chili Dog Day. Do they have chili dogs at 7-Eleven, Punchy?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
They still got the big bites
really?
and the and the
they have the
cheese.
machine. Well, they have the machine where you have to put the chili
cheese.
and the
Yeah,
cheese
still
on
got
it.
that.
Yeah. So that chili's in a bag.
Yummy.
Warm.
Man, those nachos too.
Also, it's a Live Nation Ticket Friday on ESPN LA. Listen all day for your cue to call and win a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes live at the Hollywood Bowl on August 17th. I know you will be. One legendary band, one unforgettable night. Listen all day for your chance to win. Presented by Live Nation, only with ESPN LA.
Do you know you're coming with me to that?
I am not.
You are coming with me to that.
Take Andy.
No. You know, Andy, you would be a great guy to go to the Black Crowes. Andy, you like the Black Crowes?
I'm not a Black Crowes guy.
I love Black Crowes.
But Christopher, hold on a second. You come with me to the Hollywood Bowl and see the Black Crowes. It will be a religious experience, and then the next day you'll be
August 17th, I'm on a red eye that night to Cleveland.
All right, Andy, what do you think, man? Hollywood Bowl, Black Crowes, Monday, August 17th.
Let me take a look at the schedule.
A week from this Monday.
I would be interested. I would be interested in that. I would go to the Black Crowes.
We're going to have to Uber, by the way.
Fine.
Because we're going to be getting really wasted.
No, I figured. I thought that was part of it. It's the Black Crowes.
Are you on the air the next day on the 18th?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that should be good.
Absolutely, yeah. And that Tedeschi Trucks Band, anybody ever heard of these guys?
Yeah, I know exactly who they are.
Yeah, I've not heard them, but everybody raves about them.
If you like the Black Crowes, you will likely enjoy them too. It's similar sound.
What?
Right.
Didn't we do this bit already of can we name any Black Crowes song? What was the one?
Well, I mean,
we couldn't name it.
You guys couldn't come up with one. You guys haven't heard of Remedy?
No, the
I
Angel
need a
one, right?
remedy.
Yes,
Remedy.
Talks to Angels.
Yeah. Talks to Angels. That one.
Right.
What's the other one?
Remedy? You guys haven't heard of Remedy?
Hard to handle.
Yeah.
One that's like that one.
That one. I don't know, but that sounds good.
Shut up, candle or something like that.
I don't know, but
Shanamana.
I feel like I have a really good handle on the entire catalog. That one doesn't sound familiar. How about High Head Blues? Anybody ever heard of High Head Blues? No,
Yes.
nothing. Yeah,
Yes.
Of course you have. Of course, Ballad in Urgency. I mean, come on. The Black Crowes are legends, dude.
All right.
Wasn't he married to Kate
I
Hudson?
actually had on my old ESPN podcast the drummer Chris Gorman on as a guest because he is a massive sports fan.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, boy.
Do not mention that guy's name.
I am
By
not.
the way, you got the name wrong. It's Steve Gorman.
Steve Gorman.
Steve
Steve
Gorman.
Gorman.
Yeah.
Bergie worked with them.
All I'm
don't,
saying is I know
work
the
out
Crows.
well
That's the
between the two of
only.
us.
I am not
Oh,
looking
no,
to have a
Andy.
discussion about Mr. Gorman. All I'm saying is I'm familiar with the Crows and I enjoy their music.
I mean,
he's their drummer.
In
That's it.
6 minutes, you've insulted me and Bergie now.
I really
Kind of
didn't
important when it comes to this show to be good with us.
I didn't feel like this was an insult towards Bergman. All I'm saying is the man played with. Did he not play with the Black Crowes?
Yeah.
He did, and then he had a radio show on Fox Sports Radio.
Well, in Nashville, and then they brought him in.
To be
Fox Sports
perfectly
Radio.
honest, this interview
ruined
we
my
did
life.
with Gorman may have actually predated Bergman being with the station. Like, that's how long ago this was. So I really don't feel like this was stepping on Bergman's toes.
Well, was it before or after the Cato Kalin interview with Mason?
Oh, yeah, we got to get to that. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes from now. But we got to get Bergie's organ, yo. This is what we do each weekday around this time. You watch Gregory Arthur Bergman, Marcus Grant at 6:30 a.m. The Blue Review presented by LAX. Recap everything with Dodgers baseball. Then Bergie gets on here around 7:30 and does Bergie's three things thanks to Blue Ice Vodka.
Thanks to Blue Ice Vodka, the finest vodka sourced from Idaho potatoes. Smooth, creamy, no burn, gluten-free, made from non-GMO potatoes with no sugar added, Kappy, and only 64 calories per ounce. Blue Ice is available in Blue Ice Classic. You can get double espresso. You can get Huckleberry. That one's really good if you've tried that one, Kappy, yet. Huckleberry, delicious. Ask for it by name at your favorite restaurants and bars. Blue Ice Vodka, please, because taste matters. Blue Ice Vodka, because taste is everything.
Yeah, you got to start saying to your bartender, let me get a Blue Ice with soda and a lime, because that's how you have to order
This
it.
copy sucks. Why do we have to have taste twice in this back-to-back sentences?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, copy.
I'm going to start
Just
using the
rewrite
blue,
it.
Come
I'm going to
on.
use the Blue Ice
It's
Vodka.
not even on the log. The copy was only on the one day, and I never saw it again.
Come on. Come on, everybody.
Wait,
Let's
let
get
me
it
do the
together.
first thing again. Hang on.
Come on, copy.
All right, so
Bergie's is the Dodgers star. Can we get him
Yes.
right copy?
Right. There's Ohtani, and then there's Bergie.
That's right.
That's right.
We'll be talking about Ohtani in the second thing.
I mean, I
Kappy.
know
Don't worry
Ron
about that.
Mitchell's a zombie, but come on.
Wow, a zombie. Wow.
I thought you loved Ron now.
I do, but that doesn't mean I won't take it. I love Andy.
Depends
That
on
doesn't mean
the
I won't
day,
take
you
a
know?
missile. Come on.
That's how he shows love.
Yes. So Roki Sasaki last night did get the win. The Dodgers have now won 4 straight series coming out of the All-Star break. And last night showed again why Roki Sasaki why they went so big and tried to go and bring him in here from Japan. He looked great yet again until he got to the 6th inning where it all started to fall apart. But those first 5 innings were beautiful. He was using the fastball. He was using the splitter. The splitter was his out pitch the entire night. They had no idea how to hit that pitch. It was beautiful. But Roki this is now 3 starts in a row where he's done it in kind of different ways. In the first start against the Yankees, he was using his fastball and getting up to 102 miles an hour. Then in the next start against the Mets, he brought it down to about 98 miles per hour, but he's using the splitter and the slider. And in this one, he kind of made it right in the middle where he was hitting 100, but he was also offsetting it with the splitter. This version of Roki is the right version of Roki. This is the version of Roki that we've all been waiting for. And if when he moves to the bullpen in the postseason, I'm very, very looking like this is going to work out well because of what he can do, and especially for a few innings at a time right at the beginning. Cap.
You've been talking about this for a while, Berg, about Roki moving to the bullpen in the postseason.
Yeah.
And you're saying it as if it's like this foregone conclusion. Is it really? Or might he be so primed as a starter that Dave says, no, we're keeping him in the rotation? I mean, is it automatic that he's going to the bullpen, do you think?
Well, if we're going into, it depends on health, right? So if Glasnow, Snell, Shohei, and Yamamoto are all healthy, you have your 4 starters. You only use 4 starters in the postseason. And imagine if you get Tarek Skubal, that means you now have 5 starters.
Boy, did he pitch well.
He sure did. And that was very nicely done, by the way.
Where did that come from? What is that?
That was from the White House.
Yeah,
that was from the White House visit. Yeah,
God.
right. Last week.
That was amazing.
Shohei Ohtani.
There's just not enough
Shohei
space in this, Kappy, because
Ohtani.
you have to move somebody into the bullpen, and that means Robleski, Sheehan, Lauer probably is going to get traded, and then Roki. They all have to be somewhere, and so Roki most likely is going to be in the pen, unless if Snell is not right and he is hurt. If Glasnow doesn't come back ever because he's still in the shadow realm, like there's things that are happening. That it all depends.
Right.
That's what Marcus calls it. He's in the shadow realm.
The shadow what?
The shadow realm.
Dude, that is why Marcus is a Star Wars brother. That is
God,
exactly
he's
why.
So good at it too. I love it. But so yeah, it just depends on health. But if everybody's healthy, he has to be out of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, too, just the idea that you're talking about Sasaki in the pen, that speaks to development and progress over the course of the season, because it was not that long ago where it didn't feel to me like Sasaki was on track to have a role in the postseason period.
No, he was very, very up and down. He had a good May, but every other month was bad. And now this month, he's already, since the All-Star break, he's been looked great. All right, Shohei Ohtani. So I know Lindsay is very, very concerned about Shohei Ohtani. He did not play yesterday.
Shohei Ohtani.
I like the pause on that.
I like the extra pause.
The little pause there to get to the Ohtani. Really well done. But his knee is a problem. He sat out yesterday because of his knee. It's his left knee, so when he lands on it. But this is something that it's not a scheduled day off, but he got more treatment on his knee. It was a little bit sore. He is going to be fine. If this was later in the season, he'd be playing. Just the night before, he was legging out doubles, and he's been trying to stretch into triples. Like the guy, he's fine. He just has a little bit of soreness in his knee. He's going to work out. He'll be fine in the postseason, Lindsay. Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried because I feel like this guy, for him to take a day off, just like not.
He also plays every day. Like I think this is his 3rd day off total, maybe this season.
I know that's why it's kind of weird,
Yeah, but you have a 12-game lead in the division.
Right.
You can let him rest a little bit.
He doesn't look at that stuff. He just wants to win.
That's right.
But how many games are left? There's probably 50-ish regular season
right
games
around there.
left.
I'd have to do the math.
So if you're Dave Roberts, you've got to start thinking to yourself, what do we want from Ohtani in the postseason? Is just his bat enough? Probably. But would we like to have him as a starting pitcher? Yes, we would. We got to get him to the postseason. We got to protect him now.
Right.
And so it makes sense.
Yeah,
give him a day.
If his knee's sore, let him sit out. But it's 53 games left in the season. Yeah, he'll be just fine. Don't worry.
I think it's similar to the way they've been allowing Will Smith all the time in the world to get back. I've always sensed that it's like we've got such a huge lead over the division. We've got the best record in baseball. Let him get all the way back because we don't need him right now. And in the meantime, this has been great for Rushing.
Well, and to your point, when Rushing hit that 3-run home run last night, as he's headed back to the dugout, you could see the sunflower seeds, were like confetti. And, the broadcast team was saying Dalton Rushing is now starting to get that feel of an everyday player, and he's getting into that groove of playing every single day. Yeah. I think, Bergie, that may have been his 12th home run on the season last night for Dalton Rushing.
Yeah, he's showing his power. He's showing what he can do on any other team, he'd be the starting catcher. I mean, there's only a few teams that he wouldn't be the starting catcher. So he is a high-level prospect, and he's a legit major leaguer now. This is good for him, and I am curious of what in the postseason what he's going to do, because Will Smith, if he's healthy, he's playing every day. You're not playing Dalton. Is he just going to come off the bench? It's going to be interesting what happens with him.
By the way, put those three runs last night that he got on that home run. Put that together with the 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, boom or bust. It happens sometimes.
Yep.
All right, and now starting today, I know you like previews, Kappy.
I do.
They are playing the Red Sox this weekend. So 3 games with the Red Sox. They are on fire right now. Not great competition that they've played, but they are 20-3 in their last 23 games. Just been absolutely running through the AL over the last month. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's a bullpen game today too, because they don't really have that sixth starter. So what happens I'm interested to see if the Red Sox are for real and the Dodgers can kind of end their streak a little bit, or if the Red Sox are going to just kind of take over and try and get right back into the AL East race.
Yeah, it is a good question, right? Like, it's one thing to beat up on the A's. It's one thing to beat up on the Blue Jays, who are no longer the team that they were, last year when the Dodgers saw them in the World Series. You beat these American League teams, but now all of a sudden you're in L.A., you're playing in front of 50-plus thousand, and you've got the energy of the Dodgers, who just win series consistently every single time, it seems. And so this is a reality check for Boston, but it's also really good for the Dodgers to see a team that's been on fire.
Yeah.
I think it's also, too, it's win-win for the Dodgers, because either they take this series and you can see, like, oh, my God, like, doesn't matter who they play, they end up at minimum winning a series. If, say, they drop the series, you don't need to panic, because this is not the full team anyway. So it's not like all of a sudden it signals some type of warning sign or problem, because this isn't the full version anyway. So, again, it's all win-win for this team.
Yeah, no, it's all win-win. I just want to see how they do against a hot team, because that's what you typically see in the postseason. It's a team that comes in super hot that makes it to the postseason, to the World Series. And I think this is a team that it's a good test. I like it.
I think there'll be a lot of Red Sox fans getting tickets from Dodger fans this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, because usually Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, these kinds of teams travel pretty well.
And that's your three things. Blue Ice Vodka, because taste is everything.
Thank you, Bergie. 7:43 in the morning. A Schwanzaholic Friday. Coming up, Sedano's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. Tisha Thompson, the ESPN investigative reporter, will join us at 8:05 about Ippei and Ohtani and that whole mess. She's got the 30 for 30 podcast. We'll talk to her about that. Meanwhile, coming up next, we will find out Andy's story about Kato Kaelin. And I believe the quote earlier this morning was Mason, the star effer. That's coming up. But first, let me tell you about the people that saved my life. Andy, I almost died. Did you know that?
7:43.
The people at Providence, thank you very much, saved my life. And they want to remind you to stay in the game by prioritizing your health. I tell you all about this. We talked about Kappy's blood pressure the other day. He's got amazing blood pressure. He was so scared about it. But you got to check it, sucker. Don't be gutless. Don't be like, it's fine. Maybe it's not fine. Look at me. We all knew I wasn't fine, except I wouldn't admit it to myself. Then I almost died. But thanks to Providence, I'm still here annoying all of you. Here's the thing. Many of the biggest health risks men face, like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, it can develop without warning. But with annual checkups, routine screenings, and knowing your numbers like blood pressure, cholesterol, and that blood sugar, Jack, you can take control before problems start. Look at Funchy. All he does is eat sweets and hot Cheetos. And those Doritos with protein. You got to check your numbers, Funchy. Talk to your doctor about important screenings like prostate and colorectal exams. Yeah, get that poop in a box, Funchy. Get that hand up the wazoo. Stay active with regular exercise. Eat a balanced diet. And don't overlook the mental health. Thank God for Lexapro. That also saved my life. Prioritizing sleep, managing stress, and staying connected are just as important as physical fitness. Providence brings together the best minds in men's health, keeping you in the game with expert care and compassionate support right here in Southern California. Protect your health and get back to the moments that matter most. Learn more at Providence.org. Providence.org. Providence, caring with compassion in Southern California. 3 minutes from right now, we hear Andy and his Kato Kaelin story next on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
The Summer of Schwanz.
The bikini debuted in July of 1948. Coincidentally, that's the last time I felt ready to wear one. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Appetite for Destruction plays the music of Guns N' Roses. Poolside playback, August 13th.
Number 2.
Summertime is pool time. Rent a casino with a private pool.
And the number 1 reason.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center prices are the lowest price gas around.
Morongo, good times.
There you were, surrounded by fans, sharing wings, sharing drinks, high-fiving random strangers. Everybody remembers the game, but nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you until a few days later. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you got a fever, your throat's on fire. So now what? Urgent care closed, ER slammed, telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You need a medical emergency kit. These are not first aid kits, everybody. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions, sinus and ear infections, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more. You can even use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care in a drugstore in your house. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. Save $45 with our promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710. That's promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710.
Roars! Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
The Sedano and Kat Morning Show, weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
And he's sitting there in this coffee shop, and I'm looking at him, and he kind of realizes I'm checking him out a little bit, and he's like thinking to himself, what's this Aqua Velva looking at? You know what I'm saying? Right?
Wait, I can imagine you not being conspicuous at all.
Well,
or being completely conspicuous,
what's
actually.
This Aqua Velva?
Yeah, right. And so he's looking.
The Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Introducing ourselves, I'm Han of Dime France, and we want to pump you up.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
7:48, good morning. The Sedano and Cap Morning Show. On a Sponsorholic Friday. Where's the Aqua Velva drop? I thought Funchy put it on the board, he said. And you were there, Jorge.
Where'd you put the drop at?
I don't know.
Why don't you just type in Aqua?
How are you this incompetent?
I'm not that incompetent.
Kappy, you literally said you, Jorge, and Funchy all got together and put the drop somewhere.
I didn't put it on the board. I just showed them we had to drop.
Kappy, you lied to me.
Did I lie, or was I misinformed?
Who are you misinformed by?
I'm going to go back to doing what you're doing. I'm going to blame Funch since we're all piling on.
No, I love Funches. By the way, Funches is here because I love him.
Okay.
I love you too.
I don't want him to do Lakers. I just want him to be here every day.
Right.
Like some kind of battered person.
Oh, here. I love you. You're battered?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much nicer to you than John Ireland is.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I thought between me, Funch, and Jorge, we put the Aqua Velva drop on the board.
I think it's this one. Look at these right here. Play that.
No, these aren't drops. See?
Oh, look at these two Aqua Velvas.
That's a drop. Thanks, Jorge.
Look at these two Aqua Velvas.
On this day in 2024, the #1 UK hit, Sabrina Carpenter, Please, Please, Please.
Yeah, please, please, please find our Aqua Velva drop.
Today is also National Cheesecake Day. I'm a big cheesecake guy.
Yeah.
But I like just regular cheesecake.
Yeah.
You know who makes a good cheesecake?
Tell me.
The Italian Stallion.
Oh, come on. This guy is a man who can do it all.
He can.
He can lay down the floor. He can make a cheesecake. Is there a better guy than the Stallion?
And I haven't seen him in like 2 weeks. I'm
I
sad.
know. You should marry the Stallion.
That's my uncle.
I'm not saying you should marry him. I'm saying I should marry him.
Oh, okay.
Well, then he can call you Theo, too.
Right. I want to be your uncle. Right.
That's fine.
The Italian Stallion and the Hebrew Hammer. And we have our, and our offspring is Morales.
7:50.
I can't unsee it now.
Tisha Thompson, the ESPN investigative reporter, will join us at 8:05. Sedano will join us live from ESPN New York at 8 o'clock. But right now, for a few moments, you have a Kato Kaelin story, Andy Kamenetzky, because, I'm a big OJ guy that whole time, all the docs, everything. But Kato, I've watched also Kato's, YouTube stuff about, he's not great. And I think I didn't realize you were there when Kato Kaelin was doing talk radio in L.A.
Oh, I was here. And not only that, I ended up in the middle of Kato Kaelin's radio career. It began this is how long ago it was. Arash Markazi and Jeff Katz were doing one of our shows. They were filling in one of the shows, and this was when People versus OJ was going on FX. So everyone was talking about this, and all of a sudden Cato is back in demand as a guest on shows, and Arash knows Cato because Arash knows everybody. So they're doing this radio interview with Cato Kalin, a phone interview. Mace is in the kitchen area. Mace hears that Cato Kalin is on our air, sprints, I see this, sprints from the kitchen area into the studio because he's like Scooby-Doo hearing a famous person, running into the studio, hijacks their phone interview with Cato Kalin. He completely takes over this interview, parlays the hijacked phone interview into bringing Cato into studio to sit in on Mason Ireland for an hour. And it was the single most painful hour of the Mason and Ireland history, their time together. And I know this because Ireland happened to be out that day. So I was sitting in for Ireland. It was me, Mace, and Cato in studio for an hour. And I could tell the look on Mace's face within maybe 30 seconds, he realized he made a horrible mistake.
Now, why is that?
He just was not very good.
Mason or Cato?
Oh, Cato.
Oh, okay.
He just Mace was Mace. Mace was fine. Mace was good.
Well, he's great. As long as you don't ask him to talk sports, we're fine.
Cato just didn't bring anything to the table.
Why didn't you guys pull the cord and kick him out?
That's not my call, man. Like
when you ask a guy to come in the studio, it's hard.
It's not my show. It's not my place to say, you know, Cato, buddy, we appreciate you making the commute. We'll give you the parking validation, but this just isn't working.
What about Mace? Did Mace think that he should have pulled the cord?
I could tell by looking at Mace's face. Again, within 30 seconds, he realized I made a horrible mistake. My star referee went a little too far.
So this is the pull quote, because this is worth the price of admission, Andy. Now I'm happy you're here. Well, I was happy anyway, but because you're a Boogie Nights guy, we share that in common.
Yes, I am.
Your quote this morning before we went on the air is, Mace is such a star effer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this was star effery to the highest degree. Again, he ran from the kitchen area into the studio to hijack a phone interview with Cato Kalin. Like, respectfully, E-list celebrity, but famous. Anybody famous will just bring out Mace's star effery meter. Like, it'll rise straight to the top.
I wonder if he's going to have Cato Kalin on the Mace Plus. Is Mace Plus still a thing?
Yes.
Mace Plus is a thing.
Are we still doing it?
I was just
still
on
think
Mace
it's a thing.
Plus. I was just
You were?
on-
Oh, you were? Wait, what did you do on Mace Plus?
It was me and Trevor Lane and Jovan Buha. Mace was doing a Lakers roundtable, like state of the offseason.
Whoa. I believe he's already there. We're going to bring him on early. One Jorge Sedano live from ESPN New York. And we only got, actually, I shouldn't do this. We'll get Jorge Sedano's response to the Mace doing a Lakers roundtable on Mace Plus next before we talk to Tisha Thompson. By the way, Andy, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think you meant to give us that one.
Star effer.
No. Mace doing a Lakers roundtable on Mace Plus.
I mean, I believe it was Mace Plus. I think it was.
You sure that they weren't breaking down the movie The Odyssey? Because he invited me to go see The Odyssey. And I said, Mace, I can't watch a 3-hour movie to come be on Mace Plus. I can't do it.
All right, up ahead, Jorge Sedano live from ESPN New York. More of Andy and Tisha Thompson at 8:05, ESPN investigative reporter. Smile, wake up. It's a Schwanzaholic Friday on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Oh, look at these two aqua velvets.
It's the summer of schmonz.
You know, I've been in L.A. a long time, and when somebody asks me who to call after an accident, my answer is simple. Call attorney Big Al. That's my guy and my MVP for accident attorneys. Big Al's been helping people across California for over 15 years. And as an L.A. native and a huge sports fan, oh my God, can that guy go on hockey? Oh, he understands this community. If you're hurt in a car, truck, motorcycle, Uber, or Lyft accident, even if you're hit while walking or biking, you don't have to figure all this out on your own. I always tell people, call Big Al before you call the insurance company. He and his team will help guide you through the process, protect your rights, and fight for the compensation you may deserve. Big Al and his team are available 24/7. They never close. Consultations are free, and if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Just one call can make all the difference, my friend. So Make sure you get this right. Call Attorney Big Al right now. 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Big Al's Attorney Ken Klein, based in Los Angeles.
Guys, Pizza Hut takes me back old school. Birthday parties, Little League, Friday nights, there was always something special about the Hut. Now, celebrate again with Pizza Hut's new throwback value menu. Iconic favorites like a personal pan pizza, breadsticks, and a 2-liter soda starting at just $4. Feed the family with the original stuffed crust pizza, $11.99 for a 1-topping medium. Try new additions like triple cheese, mac, and gooey s'mores sticks. Go to pizzahut.com or order now on the Pizza Hut app.
Hi, it's Ramona Shelburne. Right now, lease a brand new 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE for just $299 a month. Comes with owner's insurance and America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Take it from me. With next-level customer service and incredible dealer incentives, your next Hyundai is waiting for you at Hyundai of Glendale. Call 818-222-8000 or check them out at HyundaiofGlendale.net.
$299 per month plus tax. Close and lease for 24 months. $47.49 total due on signing plus government fees and taxes. Unapproved above average credit through HMF. Social security deposit. 7,500 miles per year. 20 cents per access miles. Expires 7/31/26.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Red Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates of third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
Harry Douglas here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of that guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's delicious, portable, zero sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on the summer with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com and on Amazon.
This is the Angelica's Insurance 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Cap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
Good morning, guys. This is Angelica, and this is the 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Cap Morning Show on ESPN LA, presented by Angelica's Insurance. Every team needs a strong defense, and we got you covered at Angelica's Insurance. From auto and home to business and life, we have a plan just for you, even DUI and SR22 coverage to get you back on the road fast. Visit us at angelicas-ins.com for a free quote today. And now, the 8 a.m. hour of the Sedano and Cap Morning Show, powered by Angelica's Insurance. And Sedano, please pump the brakes, sucker.
The Angelica's Insurance 8 a.m. hour.
7:59. Good morning. The Sedano and Cap Morning Show on a Schwanzaholic Friday. Coming up in about 6 minutes from right now, Tisha Thompson, ESPN investigative reporter, talking about the 30 for 30 on Ohtani and Ippei. On this day, in 1966, the number one hit, the Trogs, Wild Thing. Well, you remember how this was used in the movie Major League.
Of course.
When Charlie Sheen came out. We play this not only because it's an OTD, but because the star of the show, one Jorge Sedano, is making a special appearance today, live from ESPN New York, because he had to scratch his morning show itch. He missed us that much. He's not scheduled to be back from vacation until next Thursday. But here he is. The one and only Jorge Sedano. Sedano, good morning.
Sedano.
Hey, good morning.
I got to ask you first thing. Did you hear Andy's story about
I did.
Okay. What is your response to Mason doing Mace Plus to do a Lakers roundtable?
Well, I remember we did that a long time ago on just like a podcast edition of, I think it was the Sedano show, I believe, back then. This was post-morning show. Marcellus is gone. Key in the morning with LZ and Travis. And yeah, we did it with like all the local bloggers and whatnot. So it's definitely not an original idea. Not that mine was original, but I think it's kind of funny that Mace would do that.
Well, again, I think Mace doing a Laker roundtable is better than Mace getting me to go watch The Odyssey for 3 hours so I can come back and then give him an opinion about a movie. I haven't been to a movie theater in like 10 years. So I'm the wrong guy.
gonna do what Morales would do in this scenario because I'm frisky and it's been a long time. I mean, then at least Mace has got takes to have for the show now.
Good job, Sedano. Welcome back.
You're saying that Jovan Buffon gave him takes that he could bring?
Don't be disrespectful.
Well, how do you pronounce his name?
Come on. He was a guest with Sliwa 17 days in a row.
How do I say? I said, what did I say?
He's an excellent reporter.
I'm not
He's
saying
got
he's
great
not.
hair. He does have great hair.
He has
good-looking young kid.
Him and
Good-looking
Shams
kid.
have maybe the best hair of like that NBA investigative, not investigative, but reporter types.
Mm-hmm.
So good for Mace. Mace's got takes now. He's got insight.
I guess so. Apparently that's the case.
Well, Sedano,
Wow.
I believe Tisha Thompson is going to join us in just a moment. She's calling in right now. But
Okay,
we
great.
are
I'd
so
love to
happy.
talk to Tisha.
We are
Yeah.
so happy to have you back. The Summer of Schwans, it's been great in spirit, but it's been long, man.
Well, I knew when you guys were taking calls, you were in trouble.
By the way, we're going to take calls at 9:40 with Evan Cohen because we still haven't paid off What's Your Favorite Color bit. That's ahead. Plus Dr. Robert Clapper at 9:05 for his weekly visit. But right now on the hotline, the Hard Rock Casino hotline, the one and only Tisha Thompson, ESPN investigative reporter, joins us now on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show. Sedano.
Tisha, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Obviously, for those that haven't had a chance to see it, or listen to it, the ESPN 30 for 30 podcast on the Shohei Ohtani gambling scandal with Ippei Mizuhara. So, Tisha, let me start with this because I know you've made the rounds. You've been on a bunch of different shows that I listen to. When this came across your table, right, in proverbial table, what was your initial reaction to the possibility of this being a story?
I was shocked. When I talk to a source about anything, whether it's a potential tip or they've got information they want to give me, I write down everything someone says. I mean, I type furiously on my computer. I'm scribbling it into a notepad. I have one with me everywhere I go because you never know when these phone calls will come. And this phone call came unexpectedly, and I was so surprised by what I was being told that all I wrote down is very uncharacteristic of me. All I wrote down was the letter O, which, of course, is the name of the first episode of the podcast, The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani, which is this new 30 for 30 podcast that we're working on. And, of course, the letter O meant to me Ohtani, but it was so sensitive. It was such a huge allegation that I was very nervous about anyone seeing my notes or getting into my computer. Sure. So my editor, Elaine Tang, and I, for a couple of months there, we were talking in code when we were talking to each other. We were using initials and other ways of communicating about who I had just talked to. I mean, that's how big of an allegation this was and how seriously we were taking it.
See how the difference between you and me is I would have wrote OS as in oh bleep, basically, because this is what you had potentially uncovered at that point.
Well, I might have thought that too.
But Tisha, you go from getting this call and saying, wow, I can't believe what I'm hearing, to now, and I'm only into episode 1, so excuse me, I know 3 are out already. But then explain how you say, well, I got to learn about what's going on in the world of gambling, so I immediately head to Vegas to start trying to understand what's going on here. Can you walk us through that?
Well, I'm very lucky that I get to work with an extraordinary reporter who you guys have probably heard of, David Purdom. He is our sports betting expert at ESPN. And as I said, Elaine and I, my editor, Elaine and I kept this very tight. We didn't tell many folks, frankly, we didn't tell anyone what we were working on for a while there. And one of the very first people we began to share information with was David Purdom, because we needed to understand who the illegal bookmaker was at the center of the scandal. And his name is Matthew Boyer. He's from San Juan Capistrano, Southern California. And by this point, I was fairly confident that he was an illegal bookmaker, a bookie. But that was under seal. That was a federal investigation that was going into his activities. They were trying to figure out if he was money laundering using casinos in Las Vegas. So we figured we could really sort of flesh out what was going on, what was Shohei Ohtani's bank account involved in? Because it was the tip was Shohei Ohtani's bank account was sending money to an illegal bookmaking operation. So what is this illegal bookmaking operation? What are we really talking about here? And David Purdom and I, worked sources, And at first, he had never heard of Matthew Boyer, and none of his sources had heard of Matthew Boyer. And as we explained in the podcast in episode 1, he starts to expand his circles and comes to find out that Boyer was connected to another very well-known bookie named Owen Hansen, who was a former USC football player who had been convicted and was in prison at the time for bookmaking and drug trafficking. So these were dangerous people. They had reputations for being dangerous. And, that adds another level to why you've got to be really careful about what you're doing here.
Yeah. When you said that, by the way, you said, in fact, in the first episode, there were connections to the cartel, and these are some seriously dangerous types of people. And, now you're starting to put pieces of the puzzle together. Can you then talk to us about a guy who played for the Angels, David Fletcher? Because in the first piece, you say people thought it was odd that Fletcher and Ohtani were so close when he played for the Angels. And Fletcher, admittedly, was a poker guy, and he had connections to the bookie, right?
Well, so I get a tip that I should talk to David Fletcher, and I call him in January of 2024, just to give you a little perspective. I get the tip before the news goes out that Shohei Ohtani has signed a $700 million deal with the LA Dodgers, that he's going to become an LA Dodger. So I'm trying to figure this all out while everyone's talking about this record-setting deal. And by January, I've heard a bunch of things. January was a big month for me of 2024. And one of those things that I heard was I should talk to David Fletcher. And I get him on the phone and I say, hey, do you know this guy, Matt Boyer? And he says he's met him before, that they had played in a golf tournament, and that he thinks or might have heard or was aware, I'm paraphrasing here, that Boyer was a bookie. And I thought, okay, interesting. He's saying he knows him. So I say, have you ever bet with him? He says no. Now, I'm glad you guys bring this up because the first 3 episodes are out, and we explain a lot of this in the first 3 episodes. The next episode is coming out on Tuesday, and we really get into the connection of Matt Boyer, David Fletcher, Ippei Mizuhara, and how it all went down, both on the golf course and in a poker room. It was a Angels poker room, for lack of a better way of explaining it, where after a Angels-Padres game, a bunch of guys got together in a poker room, and Matt Boyer manages to get his way in there. And that's how he ends up meeting Ippei Mizuhara for the first time. And Matt Boyer really gives details about how that meeting went down. He also talks about how he hooks clients. So if you like to sports bet or you love someone that likes to sports bet, I think this is one of the most interesting interviews I've ever done, episode 4 with the bookie, because he's not just talking about how he met Ippei and what he thought. He's really giving the insider's perspective on what's going through his head while he's trying to snare you as a client, what he's doing to get you in debt to him, and then how he tries to maintain that because he doesn't want you to go bankrupt, but he wants to try to make as much money off of you. And it's not just Matt Boyer. I also get Owen Hansen to explain all that to us.
Let me ask you a question about Boyer. So you interview him, and if I recall correctly, it's on a golf course, right? Did you get the sense?
And there's a reason why we're on the golf course.
Oh, okay. I'd love to hear that. But here's my question. Did he have any awareness of like this firestorm that could be coming down the pike here? Or was this just treated as another business transaction?
Well, it's interesting you ask it like that because he says initially, and this is all in episode 4, which we're releasing on Tuesday, he says that initially it's this guy that works for Shohei Ohtani. He's not the baseball player. So he's like, okay, sure. And he has what's called an agent, someone who works for him, handle Ippei's account. But very quickly, it becomes apparent that there's a lot of money here, and Ippei keeps asking for more bumps. He keeps asking for more credit, and the illegal bookmaking operation becomes aware that this is a good client, that they're going to make a lot of money off of this guy. But more importantly, he's paying his debts, and as the bookie says, he doesn't really care where the money's coming from. He's not asking questions about where the money's coming from. As long as the money shows up, he just keeps taking that money. And so a lot of people have asked, well, why would the bookie give a guy who's only making $85,000 and then later it was more like $500,000? Why would a bookie give a guy that's making that small of money that much credit? Because as folks may remember, Ippei ran up a debt of $40 million with the illegal bookmaker. So why would he do that? Well, Matt Boyer will tell you, he wasn't asking questions. As long as he was getting his $500,000 wires, he didn't care. And then, of course, the wires, as we discovered when I saw some of these wires and initially reported in our first story, the wires have Shohei Ohtani's name on them. It's his bank account. It says Shohei Ohtani. I've seen it with my own eyes. And so, Boyer basically is like, I don't really care where the money's coming from, but it's Shohei Ohtani's bank account. So Boyer admits that he thinks he's hooked the biggest client of all time.
Tisha, one of the things that I've always found really interesting about this whole story, and I hope I'm not asking this in a way that gets ahead of where you are in the series, but I've always had a theory that Ippei, the reason that when he was with the Angels, Ohtani, he kept himself so famously isolated and insulated and so few people around him, that was really Ippei's doing and convincing Ohtani he needed that type of insulation because it made it easier for Ippei to do things like this. Is there validity to that type of A to B?
Well, that's exactly one of the big questions that we wanted to explore in the podcast. A lot of people are like, okay, well, you reported the facts of the case. I followed Ippei's trial through its conclusion. He's now in prison after admitting guilt to stealing from Shohei. So there's a number of questions, though, that we still wanted to get answers to. And one of them was, what was the relationship really between Ippei and Shohei? Because as we say in episodes 1 and into 3, they are presented as best friends. They are presented as people that are as close as brothers, if not closer. Ippei himself says in episode 2, in the interview he does with me, that he spends more time with Shohei than he does with his own wife, and he considers them to be best friends. What is really interesting, and we really explore this as we go through the entirety of the podcast, especially in episode 6, is when you look back at everything, you come to realize that everything we know about Shohei up until 2024, when the story broke, came from Ippei. Mm-hmm. He was the gatekeeper. He controlled all the access, not just interpreting. He wasn't just translating what Shohei said and what, a reporter like me would say to Shohei. He was really the gatekeeper. He was the barrier, so to speak, between the fan, the media, coaches, players, and even Shohei's own financial team. And we really get into that in episode 5. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about how on earth can a man not know that $16 million, $17 million is missing from his bank account? How do you not notice that? But more importantly to me as the reporter is, how does your financial team miss that? How did they not realize that all this money was missing? Because a guy like Shohei Ohtani, who makes more than $125 million a year in endorsements, just endorsements. That's not his salary. That's not his other business deals. That's not his investments. A man that makes that much money has a big financial team that's supposed to be looking out for his financial health. And we really get into the details. I mean, episode 5, even if you think you know what happened, or maybe you've read the affidavit that explains what went down, really, for me, lays it out and explains how something like this could have happened.
Yeah, but Tisha, if you go back to the beginning, excuse me, George, if you go back to the beginning, you say in your first interview with Ippei, you've got some information about, or some thoughts on what kind of money we're talking about here, and he was not forthright from the very beginning.
Nope.
Right? Explain that part of it to everybody.
So pretty early on, and, I couldn't tell anybody this at the time, but pretty early on, I had heard it was $16 million. And through the course of interviewing sources, there were certain facts that were consistent. It was Shohei Ohtani's bank account is sending money to an illegal bookmaker, and it is in the realm of, more than $10 million, probably closer to $16 million. And I was able to nail that $16 million down. But then really very close to when I was getting ready to go to Shohei Ohtani's agent, the number suddenly drops to $4.5 million. And one of the explanations I was given is that was what the feds were aware of, was $4.5 million. And so that was the number that was out there now. So, as a reporter, you don't want to be wrong. And if you've been given two different numbers, you tend to go with the lower number because at least that number is correct, at least $4.5 million, because you don't want to say $16 million if it's not $16 million. But I was really confident it was $16 million. So I go into the interview with Ippei, which we did on March 19th, 2024. And to help people remember, the story comes out a day later on March 20th, 2024. And I say to Ippei, well, how much money are we talking about? How far in debt did you get? And this is all in episode 2. You can hear it for yourself. You can hear how he responds instead of me regurgitating it. But he basically says, oh, I don't want to say, it's really embarrassing. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I have sourcing that says it's at least $4.5 million. And he goes, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, this is millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're not sure, right? And so then I say, well, is it more than that? And he goes, I don't think so. So that is an instance in the interview where I'm highly skeptical. I think it's really interesting that he's sticking to this 4.5 million number when everything is telling me it's 16 million. And that's why we ultimately went with 4.5 in our original article, was because that's what he admitted to. That was on the record, confirmed. And of course, the feds later come out and say, actually, it was more up almost $17 million. So that, that is an example in episode 2, which we give we let you listen to it the way I'm learning it. We let you hear the interview the same way I heard it. And I've listened to that interview multiple times. And for me, it's a really interesting interview because the question is, well, when is he lying to me and when is he telling the truth?
Well, and that's my follow-up. So, and by the way, Tisha Thompson, The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani, ESPN 30 for 30 podcast. You can get it wherever you find your podcast. So when you're listening back to it, I would imagine after, and maybe this was in real time that you were skeptical, as you mentioned, but when you listen back to it, are there more instances where you're like, oh, this doesn't add up? Like he may be lying here.
Well, in real time, using that $4.5 million as an example, I'm very skeptical in places. There's a couple of other places where what he's saying to me does not match what my sourcing has told me. Now, with 2 years hindsight, knowing everything that came out during the federal investigation, I hear when you, the listener, when you listen to the podcast, I hope you will listen to episode 2. Wonder to yourself, just like I had to, when is he telling the truth? When is he not? Then hear what came out during the federal investigation and listen to it again, because it's fascinating to hear what the feds say he's absolutely lying about, what Ippei himself says he's lying about, what Shohei Ohtani's camp says he was lying about. So for me, it went, when is he lying to when is he telling the truth? What part of that interview? By the time you're done with episode 6 and you go back and listen to episode 2 and you listen to the interview, for me, it is, what part of this is true? He does tell the truth in places. We know that.
Right.
But, it's a fascinating re-listen.
So I have another question for you. When Mark Walter and the team, and the organization is approaching the team, there's this meeting, right, in the clubhouse where they're letting them know that I'm guessing that your story is coming, right? And all this stuff starts to happen, right? What did you observe regarding the Dodgers' reaction to this, whether it's Mark Walter or the ownership group, Guggenheim, or the front office, et cetera?
I cannot hear anything.
Well, then,
Tisha, are you there?
That's unfortunate because George just set that up nicely.
Tisha, can you hear me?
I think she dropped for a second. We'll put her on hold and check. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Boy, she's crushing this. I know.
She's never going to be able to replicate that.
I know,
George.
and she's
never.
and she's crushing this interview. By the way, because can I ask you guys a question? If you've not listened thus far, and I'm only into episode 1, are you not listening to this going, I got to hear this? I mean, that's how I'm feeling. Like, I can't wait to hear what happens in episode 2. And then
Lindsay,
she says,
when I showed up at the studio, I was bouncing up and down because I learned that we were having this interview today. I was so excited.
All right, Ralph, calm down.
Everybody chill.
Come on, Andy. Come on now.
Everybody relax. Everybody relax.
She's
here.
calling
Take
back
it easy.
now, so give
Take
it
it
one
easy.
moment.
Okay,
Take it
great,
easy.
great. Yeah. What a bummer.
It is a bummer.
We can still get the answer here real quick.
Yeah. No, it is a bummer. But, I'll also say this. One thing that I'm fascinated
Kappy,
by.
not to jump in, but
Yeah,
Tisha is back.
Oh,
with us.
Tisha's back.
Tisha,
All right, then reset, George. Reset.
Yeah, sorry that we lost you there.
I'm sorry.
question.
I don't know what happened. I didn't hear your last question. I was smiling at the camera, but I had no idea what you were saying.
No,
Well,
no
you're
sweat,
looking
no
like
sweat.
you were into it.
I will ask you again. So, in your reporting, there's this. Obviously, the story comes out that the Dodgers, the front office, the ownership group, Mark Walter, et cetera, are having this meeting in the clubhouse with the players about your story presumably coming out. What did you observe in regards to their reaction when your story was coming out, whether it be the front office or the ownership group of the Dodgers?
Well, I was doing everything by the phone, so I can't claim to actually have seen anyone's faces. And as you can imagine, as a reporter, you want to see what people's faces look like. But I can tell you there was, in the podcast, we interview one of my favorite people in the whole world, Alden Gonzalez, who is my colleague. He's one of our MLB national reporters, and he has a very long history of covering both the Angels and the Dodgers because he's based in the LA area. And Alden and I have worked together in the past. He and I covered Trevor Bauer, for instance. And he was in the room during Ohtani's press conference when he says that Ippei lied to me and I had nothing to do with this. And he was also talking to lots of players because that's his job. He talks to players. And he says even after the press conference was over, there was a lot of, as Alden said, a lot of guys were like, I don't know. I don't know what to believe. And so this was happening inside the locker room itself. And everybody wanted to know, myself included, what was the federal investigation going to find? And in episode 5, I'm pretty excited about it. We have the IRS investigator, the special agent, who really was the one that read all of these text messages between Shohei and Ippei. He's the one that went through the bank records. He was at Matt Boyer, the bookie's house, during the federal raid where they took all this property out of the bookie's house to prove that he was an illegal bookie. So this is the guy who was really in it and was the one who read all of these text messages. And in the very first interview he's ever done in a 2-decade career, he lays out what they found, including things like baseball cards that were in Ippei's car and why that is important to this investigation. This is more than just sports betting. There was other things that were going on that the feds found out. But the feds also interviewed Shohei Ohtani himself, and they interviewed that financial team. They interviewed the sports agent. So we also have the assistant U.S. attorney in one of the very rare interviews he's ever done talk about what they've, thought and why they came to the conclusions that they came to, including that Bank of America phone call where you can hear Ippei say, my name is Shohei Ohtani, while he's trying to get the bank to authorize a very large, at the time it was $200,000, but ultimately these wire transfers would be $500,000 out of Shohei Ohtani's bank account.
Tisha, the name of this series is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani. From your reporting, how did Ohtani manage to weather this betrayal and get through it? Because this really is quite a backstabbing.
I would really like to interview Shohei Ohtani for a number of reasons, as you can imagine. I would really like to hear from him what it was like to go through this, and what he saw and what he believes and what Ippei did and didn't say to him. I've had a lot of people tell me this is what Shohei said or this is what Shohei thinks, but I'd like to hear it from Shohei himself. And you went right to the place that I would, as a sports investigative reporter, one of the things that's absolutely remarkable about this whole investigation is throughout all of this, most athletes would have crumpled, and many athletes have crumpled under this kind of pressure. I mean, the feds were investigating you. As we reveal in the podcast, there was a game against the Giants. It was actually a 3-game series, and on 2 of those days, Shohei had been interviewed by the federal government. I mean, that would rattle most mere mortals. But Shohei goes out and he plays a game with the Dodgers after doing those interviews. And, you know, everybody knows that when Ippei says, I'm guilty, he pleads guilty in the summer of 2024. And I think it's about, you know, like a month, maybe 6 weeks later, Ohtani breaks the 50-50 record. And then as if that's not good enough, he goes and he wins the World Series. And then what does he do? They go and they win another World Series. Meanwhile, Ippei is being sentenced to almost 5 years in prison. So Ippei is currently sitting in a federal penitentiary in Pennsylvania, and he's not eligible for release until 2029. And even when he gets out, there's a very high likelihood, we've been told by people who know about this stuff, that Ippei will probably be deported, because even though he lived his entire life in the United States, in Diamond Bar, California, that's where he grew up. I mean, as a little kid, he grew up in the United States. He was born in Japan and never became an American citizen. So he'll probably be deported because he's now pleaded guilty and served time for, you know, a federal felony.
Right. You know, it's so interesting you say about how Shohei was able to focus on baseball. But again, you talk about this early, which is that Shohei Ohtani was always very sheltered. You know, he always had people around him, so to speak, so that he could focus. And I just wonder, when you think back to the early days of interviewing Ippei, could you as a reporter sense the spiral that he was in, that the money had gotten out of control? Now here's the media on top of him. Like, he knows he's in big trouble. Could you sense that from him?
Yeah, I think I sensed it even before I started the interview, because the way I got the interview is I went to Shohei Ohtani's people and I said, we would like an explanation for why, you know, we've seen wires coming out of Shohei Ohtani's bank account to Matthew Boyer. And the Ohtani's people come back and confirm, yes, it's true. Money has been sent. But Ohtani's, and of course, this is later they would say that this is what Ippei had told them. But at the time it was presented to me as fact that, you know, Shohei Ohtani wanted to help out someone very close to him. And I say, well, I have sourcing that it's Ippei. And they say, or the crisis spokesperson says, well, you're good sourcing. And as I said to folks, that's a really nice thing to hear when you're a reporter. Yeah, you've got good sources. So going into that interview, I was fully aware that they were presenting Ippei to me as, you know, he's going to explain this because his boss, you know, he's gotten his boss into this mess. He's gotten Shohei Ohtani in this mess, and he now needs to take responsibility for it. And in the interview, this again is in episode 2, the interview, you can hear, I mean, you can hear remorse. You can hear how whether, you know, at the time, whether I thought or anyone thought that Shohei was involved or not, you can hear Ippei's guilt that this has gotten so out of control, that he feels so bad about this. And I, you know, as I was talking about what's true and what's not true, to this day, that guilt feels real. You know, he got way in over his head, and the betting just really spiraled out of control. Now, you know, when he was being sentenced, his lawyer says, my client has a terrible gambling addiction. And anyone who's like $40 million, holy cow, yeah, that's a terrible gambling addiction. What I found fascinating doing this podcast is that the feds don't think it is just a gambling addiction. It's not that simple. Yeah, okay, maybe he likes to bet, but that doesn't, it's more than that. And so we really get into that in episode 5. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I thought everyone was going to say, oh, this is a terrible tragedy. He has a gambling addiction. The feds have a very different perspective, and that will come out in episode 5, which is next Thursday.
Amazing. Incredible.
Tisha, just one last question then, I guess. You know, I know you said you'd love to talk to Shohei about this. Do you believe that it's just as simple now that you've done all the reporting? You've unlocked all this stuff. Do you believe it's just as simple as Ippei just was doing all this without his knowledge?
I really encourage people to, I mean, obviously I put this podcast together. I've spent 2 years of my life working on this, and there's a whole lot of stuff that I know. There's a lot of information in my head, and it's all based on sources and documents and interviews that I've done, right? And for the last 2 years, it's the only thing anybody wants to talk to me about, whether I'm on the sidelines of my kid's game or I'm at my eye doctor. Everybody wants to ask me, what do I think really happened, right? And that's one of many reasons we wanted to do this podcast. What's awesome about the 30 for 30 format and what is awesome about having 6 episodes is that I can tell you everything I know. I can tell you all the stuff, all the people I've interviewed, all the documents I've seen, and I can take you on the journey of how the sand was perpetually shifting, particularly in that 24 hours before and after I did that interview with Ippei. I will tell you that is the strangest 24 hours of my career in a more than 2-decade career of being an investigative reporter. I've had people lie to me. Of course, people lie to me. That's not new. But I've never had a day like I had between March 19th and March 20th of 2024. So, yeah, I mean, that's a day. I'll remember that day for a long time. And so that's why I encourage people to listen to the entire podcast, because it is the journey I went on. And I want to ask you guys what you think at the end, because you'll know everything that I know. And where do you fall on it?
Good.
I will say, and it's always important to say this, I will say the feds say Shohei knew nothing about it and he was innocent.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and natural-born skeptics like myself go, I'm not so sure. So I will do this.
I will do this. Why.
I will listen. Tisha, my commitment to you is I'm through episode 1. I love the production. I think it's brilliantly done. I can't wait to get through all 6, and then it would be wonderful to have you back and to
recap.
give you that answer. Yeah.
Anytime. I've greatly enjoyed this, you guys. Thank you for talking. I mean, obviously, this is something I've been working on for a long time.
And I know that you say that everyone only wants to talk to you about this. Your next story, we're having you on regardless what it is. Okay?
Yeah, right.
How about that?
Right. No matter what it is, you are up everybody's
I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah, really. Seriously, man. If you're around, if you're around, it's bad news, Jack. I don't know.
All right, Tisha, thank you for the time.
That was awesome.
Fantastic.
8:32 in the morning. Well worth us being quite behind now, but we'll catch up. But first, now Sedano's here for this. Where'd my sign go? Oh, here it is. Let's talk about our friend Jacob Emrani. By the way, Sedano, his son Tyler Emrani has been in with us.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard he was in the building, as they say.
He thought we were a bunch of freaks the other day.
Oh, yes, he did.
I know. I would imagine that was my one worry when I heard he was there, is that this poor kid, he has no idea what he's getting himself into.
He knows about the word schwanz now, though.
Well, I'm sure he does. Yeah, I'm sure he does. And I'm sure Dad's proud. So, Hey, Kappy, Friday plans can change fast when there's a crash involving a bus, man. So maybe you're a passenger, maybe you're driving near one. Maybe it happens on the way home from work.
Doesn't really matter. However it happens, bus accident claims can get complicated because there may be public agencies involved, obviously, private companies perhaps, and multiple insurance carriers. Everybody's involved. And that's a lot to take on when you're trying to recover and get your week back under control. So I would encourage everybody, you don't do this by yourself. You know what to do.
Yeah, listen, call Jacob at 800-345-6789. The law office of Jacob and Ronnie can look at what happened, explain your rights, and help you understand whether you may have a case, Kappy.
So the consultation's free. We always talk about that. The case review, zero obligation. And as I remind everybody, don't stress money. There is no fee unless Jacob wins. No retainer fee. Just don't worry about money. No fee unless Jacob wins.
So before the weekend gets away from you, call him. Call Jacob at
800-345-6789.
That's
800-345-6789.
Or you can go online at calljacob.com.
Thank you, fellas. Don't let your ears deceive you. That is George Sedano. Sedano needed to scratch a morning show itch. He's at ESPN New York right now. We got Kappy at South. Andy Kamenetzky's here. It is a Schwanzaholic Friday, by the way. I told you we're going to take calls today. And it's a Live Nation Ticket Friday, which means caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN. You win a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes live at the Hollywood Bowl on August 17th. Don't miss one of rock's most iconic bands live in concert. For tickets and more information, visit livenation.com. Caller number 7 right now, 877-710-ESPN. You're going to see the Black Crowes with Kappy. Well, not literally with them, but maybe you'll run into each other. August 17th at the Hollywood Bowl. Caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN. When we return in 2.5 minutes, we'll unpack the amazing interview we just did with Tisha Thompson. That's next on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
The Summer of Schwanz. Football season is back, and ESPN LA and Waba Grill have your chance to win. Tune in to the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show the week of August 3rd for the Waba Grill Trivia Question of the Day. Be caller number 7 with the correct answer, and you'll score a $50 Waba Grill gift card. Every daily winner is automatically entered into Friday's random drawing for an unforgettable VIP game day experience. Listen all week on ESPN LA. Waba Grill, an LA original.
The Hard Rock Hotline on ESPN LA. Brought to you, of course, by Hard Rock Casino Tajon.
Experience gaming, dining, and live entertainment at the easiest drive from downtown LA. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's baseball.
Hey, LA, it's Bethel Duran, and let me tell you about the summer deals that are sizzling right now at Northridge and Wonders Toyota. How about a brand new 2026 Tacoma for just $259 a month for 36 months plus tax? $259 for a brand new Toyota Tacoma? It's got to be Northridge and Wonders Toyota.
Lease based on 2026 Tacoma model 7146. Total SRP $39,199. Lease and purchase amount of $29,007. $49.99 due at signing includes first month's payment and $750 acquisition fee. Security deposit may be required on approved credit. Tax, title, license are extra. Excludes dealer dock fee of $80. Offer ends 7/31/2026.
John Ireland here, and when it comes to vodka, I like a winner, and Blue Ice Vodka delivers. America's largest potato vodka. Double gold rated, just 64 calories an ounce, and made from Idaho potatoes. Clean, smooth, no additives. Blue Ice Vodka. Vodka with standards.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
The Sedano and Kat Morning Show, weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
May I see it? Really? Please.
It's the summer of schwanz on the Sedano and Kat Morning Show.
But thank you, Eddie. No problem. Thanks, Eddie. Bye.
The Sedano and Kat Morning Show, weekdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
So annoying, Jorge. Bunches and Andy, and they're doing their own show in the break. 8:38, good morning. The Sedano and Kat Morning Show on a Schwanzaholic Friday. Sedano is with us from ESPN New York. And Sedano, on this day in 2014, Nick Jonas released the single, Chains.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Same.
But it's on the OTD list. I wanted to shake it up, do a little Nick Jonas. He's a good-looking man.
He's in Jumanji.
Thank you to Tisha Thompson, who joined us on the Hard Rock Hotline. Brought to you by Hard Rock Casino Tajon. Experience gaming, dining, and live entertainment at the easiest drive from downtown LA. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Andy Kamenetzky's here. Funky Lover. Sedano live from ESPN New York and Kappy on a Schwanzaholic Friday. Dr. Robert Clapper at 9:05 in the digital hour.
I'm gonna do what Kappy would you normally do to Kappy. You already said that. Like you're gonna say it again.
Which part?
Wow.
You literally just re-teed everyone up that was already in the building that was that's on the show that was just on the show. You just said it.
Well,
10 seconds ago.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You guys didn't give me a lot, so I'm trying to segue easily back into it.
Oh.
I mean, you could have just said take it away and we would have gone.
Well, hold on a second. Can we call a timeout? Hey, just can I get a 30? Can I get a 30 here?
I want to talk about Tisha's interview, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I do too. But I wanted to say thank you for coming back today, brother. I mean, you missed the summer of Schwanz.
A rough go the last couple of days, and I'm sorry about the passing of Billy Ray Smith, who was obviously, a legend in the San Diego area for both being a fantastic player and just what he did with you in media. So, look, I know you're having a little rough time, and I was here, and that's why I texted, and I didn't know you guys weren't doing a show yesterday, that it was a best of, so when I was arriving in New York, I saw this. I said, look, I'm around. I can just do it. I can easily jump on a subway.
But let me just say something very heartfelt and very sincerely. Like, I appreciate that, man. Like I was telling the guys earlier, Billy Ray to me was an ultimate teammate. He really, really was. And so for you to jump back in when you're still theoretically on vacation and you just happen to be in New York and said, hey, guys, I'm here to give a little love and a little help. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you stopping in today. A-Cam, am I wrong, A-Cam? Come on.
It's a class move. He's a mensch. Sedano
Right.
is a mensch, as our people would say.
Yes.
I appreciate that. But
Now go
I
back
know you're
to
going
Tisha.
through it. So
Yeah,
I know
thank
you're
you,
going
brother.
through it.
Appreciate you.
So, look, ultimately, I remember when this story broke, right? Everyone had a position on it.
Mm-hmm.
And my position was pretty firm when we knew, like, the results of it. It was like, why would the U.S. federal government lie about its findings of someone who's not even an American citizen? Like, I don't care how much they like baseball. Like, that is not going to be something that they're going to put their livelihood on the line for. So you, though, as you told Tisha, a natural-born skeptic, you're only an episode in, right? So I guess we should wait for the 6 episodes for you to have a more firm conclusion?
Right. Yeah, but here's the thing, is that at the time, my thought was, okay, look, let's blame it on Ippei. Look, Shohei Ohtani is too big of a star in Japan. He's too big of a star in America. He's too important to the business of Major League Baseball. Remember, he's a Dodger at this point. He's no longer a little angel that nobody cares about. He's a Dodger. He's on the biggest stage. So for me, my thought process is that the entire Ohtani organization and the federal investigators were able to pin it on a little nobody, and that's how it all played out. I can't wait to hear the rest of it as well, because it sounds like Ippei he found himself busted, and he was stealing from Ohtani. Now, again, it is hard to believe that $17 million or $16 million can disappear from your bank account, and even if you're making hundreds of millions and you've got an entire financial team around you, it still seems odd that you would not know that money was gone. So I came from the cynic perspective. Andy, jump in here and mitigate between the two.
Well, I mean, from the beginning, I always believed that Ohtani really did not know about this. And it's because, I mean, all your distrust or cynicism involving government, big money, that stuff, Kappy, I get where you're coming from. But if you just look at this logically, if Ohtani was really the one laying down the bets, it's too easy for him to just pay it. You just pay the thing off. You
100%.
You can pay it without leaving a paper trail. The biggest reason people get into gambling debts is they don't have the liquidity. He had the liquidity. So if this really was Ohtani, it's not really a problem at all. Plus, I think it's just become clear over time, the reason that Ohtani, when he was with the Angels, was so insulated and so isolated, and, I had this very, very small circle and nobody could penetrate it, mysterious. That's what Ippei wanted. I think Ippei convinced him this was in his best interest, and the reality was it's because then Ippei was allowed to control these bank accounts and could do this stuff without people being able to have eyes on it because nobody was ever allowed around Ohtani.
Could you imagine Ohtani going into a restaurant and putting down like a debit card and them saying, sorry, sir, this has been declined? And he's like, what are you talking about? There's $17 million in his bank account, right? Right. Only to come find out where the hell did all the money go? It still seems odd to me that you could be so wealthy and that you would still not know that money's gone. However, I will say this, George, that remember, this happened, as Tisha was pointing out, when Ohtani was joining the Dodgers. And I think in the aftermath of Ohtani joining the Dodgers, his play, the performances that he's had, she mentioned the 50-50 season, the back-to-back World Series, the game with the strikeouts and the 3 home runs. We have gotten to know Shohei Ohtani so much more as a Dodger than we ever knew him as an Angel. And now the funny part of it is now that he is a Dodger, I think of him as an Angel. Meaning like an angel of a person, not an angel from Anaheim.
It's funny, Kappy. I think in a lot of ways this was the best thing that could have ever happened to Ohtani on a personal level because, he's still financially whole and then some. But I think this incident with Ippei and Ippei being removed from his life, I think forced Ohtani to be more out with people and to allow people in more. And it seems like he's actually enjoyed it. Like, I think Ohtani is in a better place now personally in a weird, ironic way because of Ippei betraying him like this.
And by the way, when we look at these pictures of Shohei and Ippei together, and the one that we have up on YouTube right now, don't you just look at Ippei and you just kind of feel like he's staring at you right now, like, I'm doing something illegal, man. I got a big secret that I
You
gotta
look
tell.
at those two guys and you tell me which one is up to no good.
The eyes don't lie.
Which one of these guys is up to no
good? You look at Ohtani's eyes, and he's like this, like naive, like wonderful person. And Ippei, you're looking at him like, something's going on with those eyes.
Right, that look, that still photo, that look that they caught him has a look like, I'm doing something really, really bad, and you're going to find out, and it's going to all blow up, and I'm going to jail.
I am on borrowed time.
Whereas, like, Shohei's like, oh, I'm America's sweetheart. I'm the world's sweetheart now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Real quick, I saw in the YouTube chat, since you mentioned it, I wanted to look up at the picture. Apparently, somebody called Mason in Ireland yesterday appalled at the summer of Schwanz.
Yeah, and then Bergie was in there and had to explain. But, John's gone all in on sucking on the tap. But
I get out of the shower, I do a happy dance, and then I suck on the tap.
But apparently he's doing I don't understand what Schwanz means. But Mace keeps talking about, because we have it on the whiteboard, that it's spelled wrong. But, they're going along with the bit. But they asked Bergie to explain what the summer of Schwanz means.
Yeah, I just said that it was all-encompassing. It's a state of mind. It's whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
It's
That's a great way to answer it, Bergie.
Great answer, Berg. It's a state of mind. It's whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It's everything, all-encompassing.
But what was the caller's problem?
Oh, whatever. Who knows? Their audience, I mean, most of them I like, but there's like this small sect of them that are just insufferable.
Yeah, and most of them are like, maybe a little bit more of a senior citizen crowd that are like, those darn morning show guys, those minorities having fun. Because they don't like Kappy because he's Jewish.
Right.
And they don't like Bergie because he's Jewish. And they don't like us because we're brown and a female. And then Funchy, who's one of a tropical brother.
Well, certainly my presence here doesn't help.
No, you've made things worse. You've tripled down.
I know.
Come on,
I know.
Andy.
Triple
Come
the
on,
tribe.
Andy.
All right, let's break things up here. 8:48 on a Schwanzaholic Friday.
Oh, because you know what? I want to talk some football with Kappy.
Oh, yeah. You want to get a summer road trip ready? Well, you got to go see George Chevrolet. Bellflower's Party Pal at George Chevrolet. He runs the joint. John Good. He's got you covered. You need a Tahoe. You need a Silverado. You need a Traverse. Or you're like Kappy. You're in that midlife crisis mode. You need a vroom vroom Corvette. Go to GeorgeChevy.com. 91 Freeway, Lakewood, exit George Chevrolet in the city of Bellflower. See John Good. See his guy, Kevin Rivas. They will take care of you to get you summer road trip ready. GeorgeChevy.com. George Chevrolet, been a partner of our station here for 2 decades, it seems like. All of our vehicles, when we drive out to an event, they're from George Chevrolet, sucker. 7-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. Bam! 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 Go see John Good. Kappy, I'm going to take you there and get that Corvette soon.
Listen, you know
George
I want
Chevrolet. What?
You know I want it, and I think I want bright banana yellow.
I know you want a banana yellow.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
I just wanted to break things up a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to talk football with Kappy.
Football.
Go ahead, Kappy. What do you want to talk about? Your
Well,
dealer's choice right now.
I'll
You can go
take George.
college, you go pro, you go Big Ten Media Days, you do Kyler Murray smoking your boy J.J. McCarthy in training camp, whatever you want to talk about.
You know what? Since you're giving it to me, I'll tell you this. I was very interested in both what Lincoln Riley had to say at Big Ten Media Day, and I found it interesting. I'll paraphrase it and we'll hear it. But to me, Lincoln Riley sounds like a guy like, hey, from the time I got here till today, this place has been a disaster. Our facilities weren't top-notch.
Yes, I agree.
Our athletic director got fired. We got a new athletic director. We got a president. But it took years. This is Lincoln Riley. It took years for us to finally all get aligned. And the way he makes it seem is that now that everybody is aligned, now you're going to see the results on the field. Did you hear the same thing?
They are, to me, they are the 4th best team in the Big Ten. And if you are the 4th best team in the Big Ten, you have a realistic chance of making the playoff.
Well, they were voted 4th by the media in terms of where expectation is for them to come in. But Linz, I know you've got the Lincoln Riley stuff. Do you want to hear it, George?
Well, do you want to hear like the one that you're talking about, Kappy, is really long, so I just there's a couple clips in here.
Okay, go for it. Okay.
I've learned a lot. This job is so unique. It's probably in a lot of ways the most unique job in our sport, and it's been great, getting here, getting boots on the ground, and trying to really figure out, all right, hey, what's going to be best for us here at USC to get this program back to where it belongs. And we've made some great strides. There's no question with the number one recruiting class, bringing in the staff that we've been able to do, compiling the roster. We just moved into our brand new football facility about 10 days ago, which is fabulous. And we're doing all the things necessary to get this thing back. And so I think that's why there's so much momentum. There's so much alignment, excitement, just at everywhere you turn about USC football. So excited for this season and what the future holds.
By the way, I agree with what he said there. But what I would say to you is, as an aside, if you go and listen to Big Ten Media Day, SEC Media Day, Big 12 Media Day, ACC Media Day, on any given day, just take a random sample of any of those four, and every time a coach says the word alignment, you take a shot, you will be drunk in 10 minutes.
That's the word now. Everybody's aligned.
Alignment.
Yeah. Everybody in my organization is aligned. Well, what it says, though, and this is what I was thinking when I heard Lincoln Riley talk about this earlier this week, what I would hear him say is, we were not in alignment in previous iterations.
Agreed.
And we now finally all are.
What's funny about that to me, Kappy, is it can be read two different ways. One, and it could be accurate, hey, up until this point, we didn't have all of the facilities and the money and the talent and the yada yada, like the alignment, so to speak. All of that was not there to this point. And that may be true, but there's also like there's the undertone of maybe the clock should be resetting on me. Insofar as the time that I've been at USC, really, the previous 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, those shouldn't be rightly held against me.
Yep.
This is really my clock. So all of you USC fans who've been impatient with me, this is really now the time to start judging me a reset year one.
Well, I'll tell you this. The one thing that stood out to me as I looked up USC's roster, the D linemen, if you go back to, when he kind of first arrived, what was it, 2022? 21, right, was when he arrived? So 22 is like his first real recruiting class. They have, on average, all their D linemen, on average, are 20 pounds heavier. And their offensive linemen are also nearly 20 pounds heavier. And the one thing, Kappy, that you talked about, you and I talked about this ad nauseum, particularly early on in their move to the Big Ten. What did we talk about specifically when it came to the USC program and the product on the field?
Yep, had to get bigger and stronger, no doubt.
Now they're here. So we'll see.
I know Sedano tells me it's going to be amazing this year. I
don't know about amazing, but I think they are absolutely in playoff contention.
I hope it is as a USC fan, but I also hope it's a disaster so Lincoln gets fired. I'm torn. And I think
that's what Andy was saying.
I think I love Bob Chesney, too.
Yeah, well, we all love Bob Chesney.
I love Bob. I want to get into Bob, too, on the other side, and then we can talk some NFL. Kappy's avoiding J.J. McCarthy, it sounds like.
Come on.
Plus, we have Clapper and Evan Cohen in the digital hour, the Lindsay segment, and so much more. Shidano's here on a Friday, a Schwanzaholic Friday.
ESPN LA.
Thank you, Gator. God, I kind of missed the Golden Schwanz, Gator. But I'm happy Andy Kamenetzky's here, too. We'll do more in the digital hour. Rich Eisen Show begins terrestrially. Top of the hour on a Friday, Jack.
There you were, surrounded by fans, sharing wings, sharing drinks, high-fiving random strangers. Everybody remembers the game, but nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you until a few days later. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you got a fever, your throat's on fire. So now what? Urgent care closed, ER slammed, telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You need a medical emergency kit. These are not first aid kits, everybody. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions, sinus and ear infections, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more. You can even use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care in a drugstore in your house. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. Save $45 with our promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710. That's promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710.
Here in Los Angeles, our city water is loaded with chlorine and chemicals. That's why I got LifeSource Whole House Water System. It cleans and conditions water from every tap for healthier water. With no salt and no regular maintenance. No more harsh, skin-irritating city water. Upgrade your water and your life with LifeSource. I did, and I'm never going back. LifeSource has been doing it for decades. Read the reviews. Call the LifeSource California factory today at 800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water, it's not just better, it's essential. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference. Warranty limitations apply.
You know the feeling. That rush when you reach that goal. Make somebody brag a little back home. That's success. And at University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why UMGC offers an accredited skills-based education that helps move your career forward. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Plus, build your skills in leadership, communication, and critical thinking. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. With affordable and online programs, you can unlock new opportunities to help you succeed again. At UMGC, success is yours for the taking and the making, and nothing should keep you from it, especially not an application fee. Apply now and we'll waive your application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Football season is back, and ESPN LA and Waba Grill have your chance to win. Tune in to the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show the week of August 3rd for the Waba Grill Trivia Question of the Day. Be caller number 7 with the correct answer, and you'll score a $50 Waba Grill gift card. Every daily winner is automatically entered into Friday's random drawing for an unforgettable VIP game day experience. Listen all week on ESPN LA. Waba Grill, an LA original.
The summer savings are heating up at George Chevrolet. Lease a new 2026 Chevy Equinox LT for just $259 per month for 36 months and just $4,080 due at signing. Visit George Chevrolet off the 91 freeway, Lakewood exit in Bellflower, and GeorgeChevy.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Offer on approved credit through GM Financial and requires a current Chevy lease and household, plus tax, title, license, registration, government fees. Down payment includes $85 dealer doc fee. Vehicle subject to prior sale. More than 5 available at this price. Offer ends 8/2/2026. Call 866-949-4805 for details.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
From blockbuster trades and coaching moves to buzzer beaters and breaking headlines,
ESPN Los Angeles is your home for the stories that move the sports world. ESPN LA Breaking News is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Pull up, drive in, and let Valvoline's expert technicians keep your vehicle performing at its peak, so you're always ready for the next big play.
Visit SoCalOilChange.com for game-winning coupons and to find a Valvoline Instant Oil Change near you.
Keeping Southern California moving and powering ESPN LA Breaking News.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mizuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. Episodes 1 and 2 available now. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
The home of the Lakers. And now the home of the Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon. KSPN Los Angeles. A Good Karma Brands radio station. The Summer of Schwanz on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Because it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Yeah, and as somebody who was younger and who was looking out for Big Bro at the
But
time.
he was young. He wouldn't know not to get married.
Yeah, what the hell would I have known at 21 years old?
He was dropping Miami Heat everywhere.
But that's my point. Don't you see that if he would have said to me, hey, listen, I'm dropping Miami Heat. You should be dropping Miami Heat. Let's go drop Miami Heat together. You know, let's go be Crockett and Tubbs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Turns out there's a Walmart right in my own neighborhood.
Wow.
They got it all.
Yeah, it's like a grocery store, too.
I was able to buy a sex toy in a Walmart.
Dude. The Sedano and Cap Morning Show is on the air.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history.
A little sabor. Yeah, I don't think people like being called hash.
You're the güero on the radio.
No. Giant Mexican, horn section. And
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
Give me a freaking break.
Do you want to know how many times I've talked to Rich Paul about LeBron ever?
Oh, my God. I don't know.
I don't know if that was planned, but that was incredible.
Way to time it out.
I was waiting for an entrance,
That
you
was
know?
incredible.
Way to go,
Lindsay.
Linz.
I would say once, and it wasn't even, I jumped into a conversation that someone was asking him about LeBron. Like, it wasn't even me.
Boy, this is ponderous, man. Ponderous.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Cap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app. And on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
When I'm on vacation, you can talk all the schwanz you want.
Right.
Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Bit boy.
Well, you want to woo-woo? Right now.
Monstrous.
Beto, I don't want to eat that. We did it, Dad. We did it.
You were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time. So,
My girlfriend Jean went to Korea and had salmon sperm injected into her face.
Beautiful.
Okay, so
let me tell you something, Mean Gene. That salmon sperm's going to make all the difference tonight, brother.
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
This is Pepe Mantilla, your Spanish voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. This is the Sedano and Cap Morning Show on ESPN LA. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, Beto, where you been, homeboy?
Good morning, 903. It is not a mystery, and it is not an illusion. That voice you hear in the background is one George Shia, who's back from Europe, and he just had to scratch that morning show itch. Live from ESPN New York today.
By the way, on my way to the subway, I'm walking on 6th Avenue in Midtown, and a guy with glasses on is walking the other direction. And he walks past me, and I hear, Sedano. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, boy, it's probably a Knicks fan or something, or, whatever. And it was not. It was Aaron in Irvine, I believe he said his name was, if I recall correctly. I do remember he was in Irvine. Big fan of the show. And, loves the Summer of Schwanz, loves Dr. Clapper, loves the chemistry between Kappy and I and the whole crew, and just how we make people smile every day. So just was very appreciative. And we chit-chatted for about, about 4 or 5 minutes.
Nice.
Very nice. Just right there in the middle of 6th Avenue in Midtown.
And just a follow-up from me would be, what was Aaron from Irvine doing? Was he business? Was he vacationing?
Well,
was he
was there with his family, but he was walking. I guess he was just it was in the morning. He was just maybe taking like a walk by himself for a little bit. So he was just kind of, I guess, clearing his head or whatever.
All right.
Beautiful thing.
I get that.
Andy Kamenetzky's here as well. We'll get to Dr. Clapper in a moment. Evan Cohen will join us at 9:40. Now, Evan Cohen wants to do the bit where we pound
Evan Cohen, I'm watching a replay of him on First Take right now. I like the tie suit combo he had going on.
All week he's looked sharp.
Yeah, looking good. The tie not straight, though, so that's a little bit of a demerit.
Well, somebody's got to fix it. Somebody got to tell him, hey, you got to fix your tie, right?
And it's not like tied all the way up to the collar. There's like a space.
Oh, I don't like that.
A little tiny space.
I don't like that.
Yeah, not like where there's you can see the white shirt, but it's not clearly, all the way up. Now, Jordan Rodgers, meanwhile, this man is a handsome devil. This Jordan Rodgers. Have you seen this guy?
I'm going to turn on the replay right now because now I'm
ESPN
consumed.
2.
Yeah, I'm consumed with now the fact that Evan. Can you see the button on his shirt, like in between the tie?
No, you can't see the button.
Okay, because that always bothers me.
The knot is not tied properly. But this Jordan Rodgers is a handsome devil.
He's a good-looking kid.
Funches, can you tie where I'm Ronnie downstairs? He's here.
One of our lead college football analysts now, Jordan Rodgers. He has been in the college football mix for a number of years, but really the last couple of years has really been a shining star on the college football
Excellent
circuit.
hair.
Nice hair.
Outstanding hair.
Good-looking palo right there.
Oh,
is
Jordan?
what that is. Yeah, very good.
I don't know him at all, but that is a handsome fellow right there.
Yeah, good-looking kid.
Got a future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to Dr. Robert Clapper. You'll hear the Weekend Warriors shows tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, 7 a.m., thanks to Cedar Sinai, which is, by the way, Doc mentioned this with Mason in Ireland earlier this week. We've renewed for another year, Doc, with Cedar Sinai, so we're excited about that.
There we go. Dr. Clapper.
So excited. Thank you.
And we're going to
Thanks,
put a
for everything.
Comrex in Dr. Clapper's office. I'm going to wire that, Kappy. You can come with me.
While he's having surgery?
Yeah,
While
maybe.
he's doing surgeries?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw those boxes of new Comrexes, and I thought to myself, if I took one,
no, don't
because I could really use it, could I?
Don't you have
would
like
any-
37 that you stole from the other place?
Well, I had two, and I got rid of one, and I've only got one left. I thought to myself, these look like brand new Comrexes. Should I take one? Would anybody know they're gone? But I chose not to, George. A man of integrity. You're looking at a man of integrity. Did not steal when could have.
I thought I was overstepping my boundaries when I asked Greg for just another one of these mic covers, but Cappy's out there stealing Comrexes left and right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Doc, well, we're glad to have you aboard because we need to ask you a lot of questions because we don't know what the hell we're talking about. So these questions, Kappy and I are going to dive, and Andy are going to dive into some football here in a minute. So I saw Patrick Mahomes is ready to roll, much to the chagrin of someone like Greg Bergman and all the Raider fans who thought they were going to get 2 easy wins, at least one against the Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes would not be ready to play football at least early in the season. And Patrick Mahomes, 7 months after an ACL, LCL injury, is a full go in OTAs. How the hell did he do it?
You know, George, the history of NASA, which gave all of us, the Weekend Warriors, Velcro, the use of ultrasound so that women know that the baby's okay, came from the military, the Weekend Warriors benefit. Well, the same thing is in sports medicine. There's no way in hell that the viability of the new ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, in the reconstruction is 100% vascular, the blood supply. At least that's what we thought. So when Adrian Peterson came back in 8 months, we stopped saying you have to be no pivoting for a year. Now I'm going to have to tell my patients, the Weekend Warriors, you know what? You can pivot now 7 months after the surgery. And that's really what's so amazing about this. He's teaching all of us new things about the knee. It's amazing.
But I also think, Doc, you kind of mentioned the Weekend Warrior side of things. You know, if you were a regular guy who happened to blow out your knee, say snow skiing, for example, you might all of a sudden think to yourself, well, I'm screwed now because I can't get back to work. I've got months of pain in front of me. I've got to do all this rehab. It seems to me that Patrick Mahomes was looking for the top physical therapist type people, and they may have been outside of the Kansas City Chiefs organization, but he went to whoever he found and was able to not only have the surgery, but then do the rehab in an abbreviated, faster way. Can the average person do that?
It's a great question, and I will tell you, for 40 years being an orthopedic surgeon, I learn more from the non-compliant patient. You know, the many stuntmen and women I take care of, they're not using crutches, they're not wearing the brace, and I make other people use crutches and use the brace, and then I see them and coming back to my office, and they do just fine. So guess what? We now can expedite the therapy. But it's wonderful to give credit where credit is due to the therapist. But in the end, it's a mental thing for each and every patient, and they're all different. And that's the aspect of medicine, particularly sports medicine, that we need to get better and better at. And there's no better mental motivator than people watching Patrick Mahomes come back.
Well, taking it even a step further, Dr. Clapper, when it comes to ACL tear recovery, there's reports now that Micah Parsons with the Packers, he's going to start the season on the PUP list, but he is potentially targeting a Week 6 return in mid-October. He tore his ACL last December. He did not have the surgery until December 30th. So you're talking about, at that point, a 10-month recovery time for a player like Micah Parsons with, like, the physicality of that position. It's unbelievable.
Well, don't forget, Andy, how the injury occurred. Speak about, the mental aspects of how to get motivated with therapy. But every time I come on the radio and talk to you guys, I'm going to make sure we all understand the mechanism. For example, if you, like Derrick Rose, plant your foot non-contact and you tear your ACL, to that elite athlete, mentally, their body let them down. And they got to get through a lot more psychologically to come back. Well, Micah Parsons and Patrick Mahomes and Adrian Peterson, they're the victim. They were tackled by someone. So they don't have to go through the idea of my beautiful body let me down. And I believe that is a big reason why when it's a collision and you have an injury, you can come back that much quicker.
I'm just trying to figure out how a guy like Mahomes does this. And again, I just say to you that he found the right therapist to get him, rehabbed quicker. But why would a guy like Michael Penix Jr. of the Atlanta Falcons, who was hurt in mid-November of last year, why would he be telling reporters from Falcons training camp, I'm still like 4 weeks away? I'm just trying to put, maybe it's because of the history of knee injuries that he's had, perhaps, Doc?
A lot of it, without throwing people under the bus, we all saw Odell Beckham Jr. Nobody tackled him, tore his ACL reconstruction without contact. We saw Carson Palmer 7 years after his ACL reconstruction, just backing up as a quarterback. Nobody tackled him, tore his ACL reconstruction. And that is why, again, it's my opinion, and my opinion is all I got, that if the listener tore their ACL, please, you can blame it on Dr. Clapper. You insist that they use your own patella tendon, not a hamstring, not a cadaver. Sometimes I got to use a hamstring or a cadaver because, frankly, someone's already used the patella tendon or it's been injured in the accident. But if you got a chance, the gold standard is to use your own body part, your own patella tendon, and your body can easily spare it.
All right. We're getting deep here into these preseason football injuries. Pretty good. Not bad.
I love it.
Yeah, really good. Doc, I saw you on social media sending out love, and I sincerely appreciate that from my former radio partner, Billy Ray Smith, who died earlier this week.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that is that the media has covered it in a way, there's a certain sense of, George, there's like sensationalism to it because, and I was with the family last night, we talked about this, when they put out the statement that this was dementia as the result of CTE, a lot of people will hit me up on social and say, well, how can you possibly know it was CTE? You can't diagnose CTE until somebody's dead. But, Doc, you tell me, I don't know if that's 100% true. I do know that his brain was donated. He was one of the first people to make the decision to donate his brain to Boston University and let them study it. But is that really true? Like, can you not diagnose CTE or put two and two together that football equaled this and that equaled dementia and that equaled, the demise?
Well, the exact science of the medical field, no opinions, the exact science. This is why I love orthopedic surgery. Because if you break your leg, the bone used to be in one piece. It's now in two pieces. I don't care how many opinions you get. You got a broken bone. Forget about it, right? Well, a pathologist, someone looking under the microscope, what do they see when you talk about CTE as it relates to head trauma? So let me give you a Clapper vision because this is really complicated. The Clapper vision is the switch to turn the lights on. So you are communicating with that light switch. You flip it up, Now there's a wire with insulation around it, and now you got the light bulb that goes on. Your finger touching the switch triggers the light bulb to go on. Well, the cells in your brain communicate with each other, and the wire are these microtubules. It's just like the electric wire, but you need insulation around that metal wire for the switch to turn the bulb on. In the brain, the rubber insulation for the wire looks like, here's a Clapper vision, looks like a bunch of ping pong balls, these molecules called tau, T-A-U, tau proteins that are glued that essentially insulate the wire, the microtubule. When you get smacked in the head over and over and over again, those ping pong balls, those tau proteins, start to fly off. It's from trauma. And you no longer have that beautiful ability for the light switch to communicate to the light bulb to turn on. You lose that current of electricity. And that's what leads to memory loss. That's what leads to dementia. And that is CTE. So in that beautiful, I watched it last night, I listened to it, Scott, the tribute to your friend Billy Ray and how you are documenting how he slowly but surely is degenerating in his mental capacity. Those are the ping pong balls that are no longer able to insulate that wire to communicate one cell to another.
Dr. Clapper, do you know if they're working on or heading towards any type of advancements that maybe, if nothing else, you could get ahead of this? If you're seeing signs and if nothing else, ease what the patient is going through?
So, Andy, it's a great question. So here, riddle me this, Batman. Remember the old Batman? Riddle me this. When you have girls playing lacrosse, they don't wear helmets, right? They have less concussions and less problems than football players. So the whole idea of let's design a better helmet. You know what a football player says when you tell them, I have now made it a much more protective helmet? They're thinking, wow, now I can smash into that guy even harder because I'm protected. Whereas if you don't wear a helmet at all, you're more reluctant, like rugby players. You know, you're reluctant to actually smash your head into someone else. So, yes, we can go the route of research to, further down the line. But I think just as much research, which is not done enough in medicine, and I'm a doctor telling you this, is in prevention altogether. I don't want a better helmet. I want it not to be weaponized the way it is. That's where I would go.
You're exactly right. I mean, I would tell you that without knowing all the data, soccer players who use their heads when balls are flying in the middle of the air, and could hit heads, no problem, hit head to head. I would guess they have, fewer concussions. But it is as you called it, and it was a great word, it's the weaponization of the helmet. And by the way, back in the 70s and the 80s, when we were all, growing up, in the 90s, you'd have videos of these guys smashing into each other head to head, one guy standing over the other with a celebration. Like we as fans celebrated these massive hits. Right. Yeah, so it was glorified, is what I'm saying.
The great NFL's biggest hits. Remember that? We loved that stuff with the music playing. It was just awesome. But guess what? It really destroyed those tau proteins, which are so important for nerves in your brain to communicate one-to-one. How was the Clapper vision? Is that too confusing?
No. Actually, it was really, really well done. It was one of the better Clapper visions of all time. The notion of the finger on the wall and then the light bulb and then what has to happen between the switch and the bulb. I thought it was actually really great.
And I also love, Scott, how much you talked about Billy Ray being an angel that dropped out of the sky. Whether it's Jorge Sedano, whether it's Andy Chris Morales, or Dr. Clapper, think back on your life when you got no chance at all to make it in whatever business you're trying to get. Think back on those angels that stopped what they were doing, that took a bullet for you, that allowed you to get started in your career. To me, that was the most touching thing, to hear you talk about him as an angel. It was wonderful.
Well, I'll tell you this, Doc. I'm very, very lucky because that angel, no BS here, handed me off to this group of angels. And I'm not joking when I say it. I know it may sound corny, but it's true. And I just was really, really lucky that me and George were growing up together as little kids, essentially, getting into this business. And literally 25 years later, a lifetime later, my bigger angel handed me off to my littler angel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. George, who is your angel? Who took you under his wing?
Oh, man, there's so many, Doc. Honestly, I could go on for hours, like, doing a podcast about so many different people at different points in my career who really helped me. I mean, I started as Kappy's intern, just to kind of bring it full circle if you really want to go there.
Wow.
Did you know that, Doc? Did you know that? It was like the late 90s.
You're not going to meet an angel every day. They're rare. But you know how you can meet an angel every day in your life? If you are the angel. And that is why find a total stranger today. Do something nice for them. That's how you'll be being an angel every day when you're the angel.
Amen, Doc. The great Dr. Robert Clapper. Thank you so much, Doc. The Weekend Warrior Show Saturday morning, 7 a.m., presented by Cedar Sinai. We love you, Doc.
We love you, too. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Doc.
I mean, Kappy, Sedano and I were more than angels. We saved your career.
Well, hey, but here's my point. That's the second time the career has been saved.
That's true.
You know, that's my whole point is the first time it got saved by the original big old rascal. Now, the second time it got saved by you and Sedano, much smaller rascals. But rascals to be sure.
So I'm a beefy rascal.
Yes, you are.
All right, the Lindsay segment coming up in about 10 minutes.
Beefy
a bear-like rascal.
Oh, yeah, I'm a bear. Evan Cohen will join us at 9:40. Now, Evan wanted to do some calls and have Sedano possibly judge them, but we never paid off the favorite color bit that he was going to take calls. So if you want to talk to us today, we know how that last Friday went with Funch's screening, and we replayed it yesterday as part of the best of. A lot of people talking about the summer of Schwans. There was one caller that went after Sedano, and I defended him beautifully, by the way. We'll play that highlight next week when Sedano's back. So,
who cares?
No, it was good radio, though, because it explained the show about how you create the balance. Like, if it was just Schwans 100%, guess what? We'd all be fired. So you bring the funk, you bring the noise, but you bring the sports and the intelligence so that Kappy and I could just be doing That's how we wanted to hit all that.
Oh, look at these two Aqua Velvets.
Exactly.
Right.
Meanwhile, speaking of calls, it's a Live Nation Ticket Friday. Caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN. Caller number 7, you win a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes live at the Hollywood Bowl on August 17th. Don't miss one of rock's most iconic bands live and in concert. For tickets and more information, visit livenation.com, only on ESPN LA. Caller number 7 right now, 877-710-ESPN.
Número 7.
Kappy.
Yo.
You want to talk about everybody's new boyfriend, Bob Chesney?
Boy, everybody is loving him, man.
And look, and by the way, if you're Bill Simmons, back the bleep up, Simmons. Okay? We were on this Bob Chesney train a long time ago. I saw you on your podcast the other day, and I responded to you, and I know you saw it. And I said, listen, I called the guy's victory huge upset win at North Carolina. So back up. You can jump on our bandwagon, Bill.
Well, he's got that Holy Cross tie. And so Simmons feels like he's gatekeeping the guy, but I agree.
Right, he was not following him at Holy Cross in the Patriot League.
Well, but he's going to claim it. He's going to claim that this was his guy because of the Holy Cross connection. But I agree with you.
Listen,
you can see through this. Back off.
Yeah, I love Bill,
I'm missing the Simmons part.
Here.
Tell me what I missed about Simmons.
He went on his podcast saying that he was doing what we did. We fawned over Bob Chesney. Of course we did. and he's like trying to say like he's got the he's like hosting the official bandwagon. I'm like, listen, get out of here.
Well, I think the thing about Chesney is one of these guys that has everybody totally in love with him. Now, things can change when the team either is good and people will stay in love with them.
They will be good.
Or they're not good.
It's not going to necessarily happen this year, but they will be good.
Yes.
But listen, the most important thing, Kappy, is what you and I talked about when he got hired. Mm-hmm. What did we talk about? What was going to be the most? He's a great coach at every level, no question about it. He clearly can coach, right? Mm-hmm. But what was going to be the most important asset for him?
does UCLA have the money?
Right. And they just was it $41 million or whatever to the football program or something like that?
Yeah, over the last year, it's been 41 mil.
There you go.
It's nice to see. Because honestly, here's the thing. You ask yourself the question, how in God's name can Indiana University, a basketball school, go from being the worst program in the country to being the national champion and a Heisman Trophy winner? It can't just be Curt Cignetti's energy. There has to be another story to it all. And then you see in the national championship game all these people that you had no idea had ties to Indiana, and they're all pumping money into the place.
And more importantly, Mark Cuban.
Right. So Cuban starts pumping money into the Indiana football program.
He pumps money, and then Cuban pumped in money to bring in a Cuban.
And how about that? And it worked out perfectly. And so now Bob Chesney, who everybody can feel his vibe, and everybody wants UCLA football to get back to where it once was, to be that sexy program that it was back in the 80s and the 90s. And you're feeling his vibe, you get his energy, but does UCLA have the money to get out there and compete? If they do, they've got the right coach.
Where do you think it begins, though? Do you think it begins with the money or with the coach? Like, how much of a draw do you think
the coach
Chesney
has to
can
bring
be?
the money. The coach. I do think that it's a little bit of chicken and the egg. But like what I would say is the coach certainly helps generate money.
No doubt.
If he, as charismatic as he is, that's only going to help the cause. And they will be better. Like, who knows what happens this year? I don't expect them to be very good. I think they will look better than they've looked recently. But at the very least, if they can at least show real signs of, hey, they're at least going to battle every single game. Like, they're not like some walkover anymore. Then all of a sudden, that's at least a huge improvement, in my opinion. They win 4 or 5 games, whatever it is. Maybe they make a bowl game. That would be huge for them in year one.
But, Andy, to your question, I think it's a great one, and here's what it means. Listen, when you have the right coach, and that coach walks into a room of boosters, of alums, of people who really should be considered friendlies and should be able to open up their wallet or write a check on the spot, if you don't have the coach, then the people who have the money say, well, I don't believe, so therefore I don't want to put my money into this. On the flip side, when a guy like Chesney walks into a room and lights the place up and gets everybody excited, all of a sudden, guess what happens? Everybody starts taking their checkbook out and writing checks.
Well, you guys also, too, you both know this world of college football better than I do. In the grand scheme of money coming into universities and programs, is $40 million as big as it sounds? Like,
it's big.
So that's really significant,
especially for a program like UCLA.
Where do you think if you had to balance that or compare it against like USC?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like
that is
no. I would say USC is probably high, is certainly higher than that. Look, a team like Notre Dame is generating. First of all, they get like 70 or 80 million right out of the gate from their TV thing. So that this is just what they generate with their alums. I would say that they generate probably nearly double what UCLA does. But that's Notre Dame. Like, you got to start somewhere.
Sure.
UCLA.
Really, what's making me think about this is we were talking earlier about Lincoln Riley and his messaging that everything is now finally in place and the infrastructure and the facilities. In a lot of ways, that feels like, to me, him saying all this previous stuff during my tenure shouldn't be held against me. So, start the clock. It's reset now. I'm wondering where this $40 million for UCLA would stack against what's going on with USC, if for no other reason than I'm wondering if Lincoln Riley is already doing the comparison shopping.
Well,
maybe
protectively, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, I just think that if you're UCLA and you're a UCLA alum and you've got a lot of money and you've been, just downtrodden for years because the program hasn't been good and you're humiliated that the Rose Bowl has 11,000 people in it, you want to give your money. You want to, again, if you've got it, you want to give it because you want to see drastic improvement. And you've now got a guy who is just so well-liked and so energizing that he's going to be able to bring that to recruiting And by the way, recruiting doesn't mean high school kids anymore. I mean, Lincoln Riley's bragging about the number 1 recruiting class in the country. That's great on paper. Here's the question. 3 years from now, how many of those kids that were in your top recruiting class are still on your roster? Because these kids are moving around every year. You have to have the money to say, hey, we lost this kid this year because he decided to go to Wisconsin, but the kid is from Southern California and he wants to come home. We got to have the money to bring this kid home. It sounds crazy to be saying this, but that is what college football has turned into. Who has the money?
Right. And it's this. Let's say, big Andy Kamenetzky over there, big, quarterback, pass rusher, whatever valuable position you want, right? He's disgruntled somewhere else that it's cold.
I'm always disgruntled, George.
Yeah, somewhere where it's cold. He's not getting the playing time he expects, and it becomes bring Andy home.
Yep.
Bring Andy home.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Andy home.
Oh.
Bring
Andy home.
Yes.
Home.
Come on, get him back from Missouri.
Come on, Andy.
And then they get you in the room, and then they switch it up, and then it's no longer bring Andy home because you're already in the room. They're already discussing, and then it's come on, Andy.
Come on, Andy.
Come on, Andy.
Come on, Andy. Get to that
Come
quarterback,
on, Andy.
Come on. Come on, Andy. Here's $1 million.
Oh,
that's how it works.
I love this world.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get you out of Missouri.
It's not sustainable. There's no way this is how we're going to do it forever. But for now, this is the move until they figure out what they're going to do. I don't think these senators are going to figure any of this crap out. It's all stupid. They're wasting everyone's time. But there will be some level of it will feel more like the NFL sooner rather than later.
Yeah, better. It needs to. I'll tell you, here's why, though. Because certain boosters, alums, money guys, they will get tired. In other words, every year you keep going back to the same guy. Hey, Sedano, we need $50,000. Okay, you stroke a check. The next year, hey, we need $50,000. You're like, okay, we didn't really do that well last year. And now I got to give another $50,000. And you're not really getting anything for your money. You're literally making a donation. Yeah. It's not like, hey, donate $50,000, you get a really nice hoodie. No, you're getting zero. We need the money to put into the players. Will you stroke a check? And then by the third year, you're like, hey guys, $50,000 a year. This kind of sucks. My point is that eventually the boosters will become exhausted. That every year you're going back to the same people to get the same amount of money, and if they're not seeing the results, they're going to stop paying.
Well, that's actually why I really started to cut you off, George. But that's why I really feel like this stuff should become more formally contracted, where it really becomes a
but you need a
union,
a collective bargaining agreement.
Good, do it.
and the NCAA, that's the one thing they're holding on to. Like, no, they're not really employees. I mean, that ship has sailed clearly, but those are still steps that need to fall.
It's necessary if you want to cut down on the chaos of college sports in general. You need to put all of this stuff out in front, legal, formalized, and that way these boosters can feel like they're actually getting a return on their investment. Because otherwise you're just going to them every year saying, write a check for waves, arms around, shoulder shrug. You don't know what's going to come of it.
Did you see the thing online the other day of the UNLV basketball coach, what he said or no?
No, tell me.
So he was saying, somebody was asking him about, just kind of the current state. And he said, look, there's all these billionaires who want to buy these teams, right, these professional teams, and they can't get in for one reason or another because they don't have enough billions, right, or they don't have the right group. He's like, come here to UNLV basketball. You could spend $15 million and you could own the team. And, he said it kind of facetiously, but I don't think he was being that facetious.
I don't think so at all. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how private equity would, just as private equity is now buying pieces of NBA teams, it's buying pieces of NFL teams.
And that's going to be a bad thing, too, is what I would say. Is that I think, in the sense of, I think the leagues will regret if it all becomes that, and they don't have these families that they've been used to dealing with. It doesn't mean you can't have a nice mixture of the two, but I do think that if we just go all one way, that's not good either.
Well, here's the deal. You ready? So if you're the Penn State football program, I'm using them as an example, and you value your Penn State football program I'm going to make up a number here, at $2 billion. Because think about it. The Philadelphia Eagles might be worth $7 billion. The Pittsburgh Steelers might be worth $7 billion. I'm just making up numbers. But the Penn State football program might be worth $2 billion. Well, if all of a sudden you take in $1 billion from private equity, they're now your 50-50 partner. They own half of your school's football program. But what you got was $1 billion up front, and you can use that $1 billion not just for the current class of kids that you're recruiting, but obviously you can take that money, invest it. Maybe you give it to Mark Walter and Guggenheim. They show you how they do it when they're holding on to, $700 million from Shohei. The point is that you're taking in this massive amount of money, but you're giving up half of your program. You're essentially selling half of your college football program as if you were selling half of your NFL team. That could happen.
Well, FIFA's doing that right now, and did you see how the European teams are like talking about boycotting the next World Cup?
Right. Well, that's because they feel like they're probably not going to get a cut of it. That this is a FIFA organizational thing.
But they also feel like there's a level of corruption that potentially comes with that for an organization that already has been thought of as pretty corrupt.
I was going to say, something's corrupt when the people involved with FIFA say that's a bridge too far, man. We're not going there.
Right. You guys already have enough of a reputation.
I mean, look, there's friendly corruption, but come on now. We can't do this.
Yeah, and by the way, you cannot be making all this money on all of us. It's like all of a sudden all these European countries, Spain, Italy, France, England, etc., Germany, they're all like, wait, we're now the college football players. You make the money off of us. How about sharing it with us? That's what FIFA is. FIFA was the NCAA before all hell broke loose. Yeah. Wild.
All right, 9:37 on the Sedano and Kapp Morning Show.
That was good. Thanks, Andy, for participating.
Evan Cohen will join us in a few moments. But first,
come on, Andy.
Let's do a quick Lindsay segment. We like to do this around 9:30 or around this time. The Lindsay segment, thanks to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. We like to play a TV theme. The reason we play The Sound of Philadelphia, the theme from Soul Train. Today, Vivica A. Fox turned 62. Before all the movies, before everything, she started on Soul Train, Kappy.
I love Vivica A. Fox.
All right.
I do.
You can follow Lindsay at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram.
Oh, I thought you were doing it because LeBron is going to Philly. That's what I thought for a second.
Well, we're going to have a whole fall and winter about that, so I didn't do it just yet. Don't forget. What you say we don't? We won't?
No, we won't.
Of course we will.
Why?
Come on.
Come on, Lindsay.
Thanks,
Lindsay.
Thanks, Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Summer's here before your next barbecue or family gathering. Upgrade those old floors with Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Visit HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net or the showroom next to the Commerce Casino. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. No games, no gimmicks. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. All right, so since we did not get to this yet this week, I want to play a little clip from Aaron Rodgers at training camp on Tuesday when they opened up over there in Pittsburgh. Wait, hang on. Here we go. He was asked if this is going to be his last season.
Yeah, this is it.
I guess why? What is it? Why is this it?
I thought last year might be it, and then Mike got hired, and I talked to the wife, and she said, "You can do one more year." So I said, "Well, see if it works out," and then it kind of all came together.
You buying it?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. What if he has a great year and they're like really close to...
I feel like if he has a great year, that might even incentivize more going out when you look like the best version of yourself that you can depend on.
What if they make it to the AFC Championship game and then they barely lose on a last-minute field goal and he's like, "Oh, but we could have gone to the Super Bowl."
It's over, dude. He's
okay.
I mean, it's it.
He'll be 43 by the end of the season.
So?
I mean, he can barely run faster than Kirk Cousins these days. You see Kirk Cousins running yesterday or the day before?
That was so bad. He looks so bad running.
Hey, you got to hope he don't have to do any running.
It was more hobbling than it was running.
Or maybe you should just hope that he doesn't really actually play. I mean, maybe you should just hope that the reason he was installed as the starting quarterback is just to inspire Mendoza's competition and say, look, we're not just handing it to you, kid. Go out and earn it. But Aaron Rodgers, the only thing I hear about in that soundbite, though, is when he says, the wife. The wife said, Mike came back. I can go play.
I feel like you would say something like that, though, Kappy. That's how you would refer to the wife.
Right, but I just feel like the wife, going back to the whole 30 for 30 about Shohei and Ippei, Like when Shohei announced that he was getting married, people had no idea that he was even involved in a relationship because he's so quiet and he's so protected. Aaron Rodgers, we've talked about this. People still are wondering, like, who's the wife? Who is she? How could you possibly keep her private as famous as you are?
The fact that you mentioned Shohei, Kappy, Shohei notoriously, like, hid his wife. Like, people didn't even know after they got married. Remember, it was a big deal because, like, the Dodgers put out a tweet on his behalf, and it literally said, like, he's married to a nice woman from his homeland or his hometown or something, and that was it. And for all of the people, especially in Japan, who cover him and wanted to figure out who it was, it took them a long time to figure out who he was married to.
Well, remember, too, Aaron Rodgers went through the very public relationship with Shailene Woodley. So he's seen what it is like with everybody up in his business.
Yeah, he seems like a well-adjusted human being.
Yeah, look at these two Aquavelvas.
Anyway, 9:40. Thank you, Lindsay. We'll get Evan Cohen on here on a second. But let's move it up so we have more time with Evan. Kappy. Sedano's favorite part of the show, and I know he's missed this a lot, the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff calendar of the day.
Yeah, that thing.
For Friday, July 31st, 2026. Stay away from ultimatums. There are several good reasons to stay away from ultimatums. First, ultimatums box people into a corner and limit and distort their choices. Second, even if the person demanding the ultimatum ends up getting what they want, they are often resented and retaliated against by the person to whom they issued the ultimatum. Like Kappy doing this last contract.
Right.
By the way, when am I getting my GFS hat?
I have it for you.
You better bring it Monday before you go on vacation.
I have it for you.
And you're coming in Monday.
Nah.
You're not?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why?
Think I have that on my calendar.
You're not coming in Monday?
I'd have to look at my calendar.
Who's doing the show Monday? Beto?
You're supposed to be here Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Because you're leaving.
We talked about this. You're doing the Rams training camp tomorrow, and they're going to talk about it on Monday, and then you leave on Tuesday.
Oh, no. I didn't say I was coming in, though, on Monday. I said I wanted to be on the air on Monday so that I could talk about what Rams training camp on Saturday.
Okay, as long as you're on the air.
Yeah, how am I getting that GFS hat, though?
Well, I'll get it to you. Don't you worry. Good looking. You're going to have one.
I don't know.
I want you to look good in it. It's going to match your nice Rams hoodie that you got going on.
All right, now joining us for his second appearance this week, just like last week. And I get excited when Evan Cohen is on twice in 1 week. Now on the Hard Rock Casino hotline, the one and only Evan Cohen. Oh, first, let's hit this drop.
Are you typing the dictionary?
He yelled at Canty today because Canty was distracted in the middle of the show. A lot, actually. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, Kappy. Love you. I'm so sorry.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate the message off air. Love that you're saying it on air. And how about my boy Sedano coming back for me today, knowing that I'm hurting, and I am. But I wanted to get back out there because I will tell you this, my old partner Billy Ray, get your ass back on that radio, son. What are you doing? So happy to be here. And how about my boy Sedano coming back to help today too? What do you think?
It's a tremendous job by him, and I don't want to reveal personal stuff, but he did reach out to me just expressing how badly he felt for you, and obviously he reached out to you personally, but I mean, George is very conscious of that. And I guess, can I just say one thing about your show that you guys did then and the personal relationships? Like, a lot of times radio and the medium we're in are arranged marriages, and the partnerships are not always felt. And when you become as close as people become in this industry, other people within the industry hear about it. So whether, it was George and I living in Florida or me working for Sirius XM or ESPN West Palm, whatever it was before ESPN, like, that was always a show that people heard about. We knew you guys were partners and we knew you were connected, which is just the biggest compliment of when people do that and what we do for a living, knowing the two people who are on it may have been an arranged marriage, but they fall in love with each other on the air. And I think it's just wonderful, obviously, how you've paid tribute to him.
Well, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. It's been hard, I've been watching this go down over the years and just watching somebody fall apart. He had sued the NFL, and I had said to him, "Why would you do that? You love playing in the NFL." And he said, "Because I don't know what my future is, and I got to take care of my family." So he kind of knew something was wrong. And just to watch somebody, go from being so sharp and so prepared to then being like, I don't remember who they played yesterday. And it hurt to watch that go down. So I think as much as this sounds cliche, my man is in a much better place today than he was over the last 2 to 3 months of his life. So appreciate you saying all that, Evan. Thank you.
I didn't know him, but maybe I would have think, just to change the mood for a second, he would appreciate the joke I'm about to make. You seem to follow in his footsteps because you don't know anything that's going on.
He would love that. And he would agree. Because he would always say, the beauty of our show is you get the perspective of a real player, a guy like myself. He goes, and then you get, a kicker. Like, what does he know? So believe me, he would appreciate a joke like that, Ev. Awesome.
All right. I think I changed the mood.
Yeah, you did.
66 WNBC. Okay.
By the way, what happened? Well, I love the tie you were wearing, but it was crooked, and you didn't have it knotted up all the way, perfectly up to your collar.
You go to Europe, and now all of a sudden you're George Prodano or Prada. What's happening? I mean, the fashion critic over here. By the way, you're 1,000% right. Isn't somebody supposed to tell me that?
Right, that's what I said.
So after First Take, we do this Disney Plus segment, which is cool. I didn't even know we did this. So 15 minutes. They got an extreme close-up on a different angle, and I'm like, is that how my tie looked the entire show today?
Yes.
Because it was it was almost like I was making a U-turn, my tie, somehow. I don't know what was going on there.
It was weird. Yeah. I noticed it immediately when it came on.
Yeah, why doesn't somebody whisper in your ear, hey, Ev, at the break, we're going to come in and fix your
tie? They would
tie.
never do that to Stephen A. Smith. They wouldn't leave him hanging out there like that.
I don't know who produces First Take anymore because I haven't done it in over a decade. But, I know that when Antoine Lewis ran First Take, he'd make sure your tie was tied right.
Wait, was this a way for you to reset that you've done First Take? Just out of curiosity? Is that all this was?
No, not at all, actually.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
No. But I'm just telling you, I don't know who does First Take anymore.
No, you're right about my tie. That's on me, though. They give me an hour in between Unsportsmanlike and First Take. They have me leave Unsportsmanlike at 9 Eastern for First Take at 10 Eastern. So clearly, an hour is not enough for me to have a tie that's not making a U-turn and then double parking somehow on my shirt all show long. Disaster. That goes along with my 3 chins. Oh, it's terrible.
Somebody should be fired. That's all I can say. Somebody's going to get fired over Evan's tie. In fact, why are you even wearing a tie? Nobody else is wearing a tie on the show.
Yeah, Jordan Rogers, by the way, that's a handsome devil right there. I would hate to be on set with that guy.
I'm so glad you brought that up. There was one thing where he did his Heisman candidates, and it was a stand-up shot, and they're putting us where we need to stand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got to stand next to this guy? And he couldn't be nicer. Oh, my God, he couldn't be nicer. He's so good-looking. He's so cool that this is not a joke. Mike Tannenbaum, in one of our breaks, FaceTimed his daughter so she could see Jordan Rogers.
It's easy for him to be nice. He's not threatened by everybody. When you're that good-looking and you look like him, you can be nice to everyone.
Right.
Oh, so what did we talk about yesterday? Oh, is it a yarmulke or a what? A kifka?
No, a kippah. A kippah.
Same thing.
Right. Yeah, it's kippah is Hebrew for yarmulke, which maybe also
because I made a reference to a yarmulke, and then everybody on the content leadership call, a lot of Hebraic brothers are on this call. They're like, oh, no, we call it a kippah or a kifka.
Kippah.
And I was like, well, I call it a yarmulke.
Yeah, you can call it
You're
both.
correct. You're fine. You're fine.
Wait a second. Go back. Kappy, did you just say a word is a Hebrew word for a Hebrew word? Is that what you just said?
Okay, guys, I just figured this out.
Tell me.
Kippah is the Hebrew word for the head covering, whereas yarmulke is actually Yiddish.
Oh, okay. Now
I did not realize that either.
Ev, I saved myself on that. These are 2 different languages.
Yes.
2 different languages.
They are.
So.
And I use a lot of Yiddish, not because I speak it, just because my parents and grandparents would use it growing up.
Right.
So there's a lot of Yiddish terminology that I don't. One of the things that I say in Yiddish is "Get kakenyaf and yam."
I say it all the time.
Take a boat. Right. It's go number 2 in the ocean.
Right.
Why do we have a term for that? Who tells somebody to go take a number 2 in the ocean?
I mean, our people have been, by the beach, out in the desert, whatever. I mean, sometimes it's just useful information.
Right. And there are these little phrases my grandmother used to use, ishtickle in drek. And I was like, what the hell does that mean, Grandma? And that means poop on a stick. And I'm like, but why do we use that phrase? I don't understand that phrase at all. I don't get it. I don't understand
Picking up after yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. But that's Yiddish. What can you do?
Michigan.
Are we really taking calls today about what everybody's favorite color is?
No, because we missed the boat, and then we had to move things around. So we'll do it Tuesday when it's Beto and Sua. And then Sua also, I'm going to have Keyshawn call to surprise Sua because apparently they have a beef.
Big beef.
If you love having fresh wild meat in your mouth, shop Wild Fork.
So Sua will be on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wait, why do
with
they
Beto.
have a beef?
I don't know. Well, Keyshawn and Sua?
Is Keyshawn? What's the deal with them?
That's why we're going to have them on. I know there's a beef, but neither of them will tell me what it is. So now we'll have them on, and because we had Keyshawn on earlier this week, Sedano. So he will, because he texted when we had Geeter on. He texted me. He was at the DMV, and I guess he was listening on the all-new ESPN LA app, and he said, "Why does the show sound so white?" So I said, "Why don't you call in and tell us?"
It did sound awfully white.
He did text me during Summer League. I was wearing my glasses.
They made a comment about your glasses, too, yeah.
He said they're Coke bottles.
Yeah,
Wait a second, George. I probably should just call you on this, but whatever, we'll do it here. I haven't talked to you since the handshake heard round the world, and everyone's telling me, without revealing it, the Summer League handshake and you giving the dap up, whatever. Everyone's telling me that no one would care who it is except for me. Is that correct?
No, it was Derek White. That's all. It wasn't anything other than we were on the air, and that was it. I just was like,
Didn't you start this call with us saying that you and Sedano talked yesterday?
No, we texted.
We texted, yes, sir.
All right.
No, but even if I talked to you, you've never talked to someone and forgot to ask them something?
I mean, not really, no.
You know, all of a sudden. Okay, Morales, Mr. Memory now, all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. I mean, the guy literally did the open 3 times in a row for at the beginning of the show when I came on. So Key texted me this. It was funny. I was doing whatever game I was doing. He's like, "Hey man, you good?" And then I'm like, I could kind of see it through the corner of my eye, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I just saw you on TV. Can you see? And you've seen these glasses. They're just readers. They're not thick at all. The lens is thick. So the black lens, not the lens, the black frames are thick, but not the lens.
But this is why, Evan, this is why you get criticized for your tie, because George got criticized for his glasses. So he's just paying it all back.
I'm not.
Maybe George can't see. Maybe actually George can't see. That's
well, I did tell him I do need readers. I got to see when I'm looking at my charts and stuff. So I told him, "Do you want me just to take the glasses off when I'm on camera? I mean, I could pull like a Bryant Gumbel and just take them off. I mean, it's fine." But
I used to love when Bryant Gumbel.
By the way, speaking of glasses, there was a great video this week. So Joe Girardi on the Yankees broadcast was destroying Michael Kay.
Oh yeah, Michael Kay. Yeah.
He took glasses and he stirs his tea at equal. That's how he makes. I can see Kappy doing that, actually.
Using my glasses?
Kappy's got to stir tea with equal.
100%. No problem at all. Do it. I would do it all day long. Whatever's nearby. Sometimes I have a pen and I'll start scratching something inside my ear with the pen. You know, it's just it's just something that you do.
Would you put it in the tea?
100%. It's my earwax.
You'd put. Oh God, that's so gross.
Yeah, but it's mine.
That's disgusting.
Fair point.
But
Fair
Evan,
point.
this is the guy that pees in a bottle and washes it a little bit and drinks out of it.
Yeah, he doesn't just throw the bottle away.
Well, now wait a second.
You told us that story.
Oh my God.
Because see, in LA we have to commute, so there's sometimes you got to pee while you're in your car, and you want to have a Gatorade bottle because it's got the wide mouth, so you just swing right in.
Yeah.
And Kappy said, "Yeah, exactly." Kappy said, "Oh well, I did it in my water bottle once," and I said, "The water bottle you're drinking out of now?" And he said, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, even if you put it in a dishwasher, that's still disgusting.
No, it's
just
not.
Go buy a new bottle."
No, it's not. If you listen, there are plenty of cultures that will use human urine as a cleaning material.
I just don't believe we're one of them, Kappy.
We just happen to not live in one of them.
Yes. They don't include ours.
Yeah, that's true. There's nothing wrong with having water in your bottle, then peeing in it, and then cleaning it, and then using it again. There's nothing wrong with that. Is there?
Yeah.
Come on.
What?
What's that clicking
I mean, this
sound?
is way worse than when like Jorge Posada admitted he would, and Moises Alou admitted they would urinate on their hands before batting or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But at least, George, I remember that because you and I were there for that in 2003 when that story, I think it was right around then, that story came out with Alou on the Cubs. But like, that at least was a productive thing. I don't agree with it, but they claimed that helped their batting. What are you claiming it helps, Kappy?
Helps my hydration.
I'm sorry?
It helps my hydration. Like after I've peed in the bottle and then I've cleaned the bottle out and then I put water in it and I drink it, it helps my hydration. It also helped me relieve my situation that I was in while I was stuck in traffic and I couldn't go anywhere.
I mean,
so
the difference is after those guys, though, peed on their hands and used the bat, they didn't, like, lick the bat afterwards.
Correct.
Like, that's the difference between what they did and what Kappy does.
Right, but that would be the equivalent of me drinking it out of the bottle after I did that in that. No. I'm going to take it out, pour it out, clean the bottle with soap. I'm going to run it through a dishwasher, and then I'm going to act like I never did what I did. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I don't know what is wrong with you guys.
Oh, boy.
66 WNBC.
All right,
I
Evan.
knew it. You know, you have a tell. You go into the you go there, and that's your tell, Morales.
Well, I'm just going to be honest. It started off a little shaky.
Okay.
And then how'd it finish?
It was fine.
I have a basketball question. May I ask?
Well, to ask
Sure,
Sedano.
must be
He's the
for
ball
me.
knower.
I
Yeah.
assume it's for me.
Ball goers.
Ready? Rank top 3 places Kawhi Leonard will play basketball this year. Top 3 places Kawhi Leonard will play basketball. Like what team?
He's going to play in Toronto. He's going to play in Toronto.
All right, give me the other 2 though.
I'm going to go with the San Diego JCC.
There aren't 3. It's either Clippers, Toronto. There is no third because if
going to
if his trade doesn't go through to the Raptors, nobody else is doing it.
Disagree.
Clippers cannot have him
I
back.
disagree.
Go ahead. What would be the other team?
Well, I wonder if anybody would look at him as a salary dump now, and whether or not a team like Boston would just say, "Screw it, give him Paul George and the picks for Kawhi."
So you'd have Paul George come back to the Clippers in that scenario? Why would the Clippers do that?
Because you get 2 first-rounders. Basically, the Celtics were to say, you just take the Jaylen Brown deal and get Kawhi, or maybe the Warriors, Jimmy Butler in a first. Expiring contracts for expiring contracts. Warriors give up maybe their 27 first, and they could say, well, we're trying for, even if Kawhi's playing half the season, you still have a much better shot because Jimmy can't play physically, and that maybe possibly the Golden State Warriors should just swoop in and say, we're going to still have the cap room after this year. All right, we give up a pick, but at least we're doing something for Steph.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I mean, maybe somebody would do it, but it wouldn't be for 2 first-round picks.
You know, I tried to do something that you would like better than Kappy peeing in a bottle. I guess I failed.
No, you did. You failed miserably.
You did. No,
Yeah,
you
I
did.
failed. I failed.
You did. You did. I do like it more than Kappy peeing in a bottle. That's for sure.
That's
I
a
just
public
don't- you know,
service.
You are great at the trade machine, but I disagree with almost 90% of what you put out there because it just doesn't feel reasonable to me. Like when you put that stuff out.
Right, but to be fair, don't you disagree with 100% of Kappy drinking out of the bottle he pees?
There's no question, right? So you're 10% better. I will say this: I saw a clip of you on First Take where you were saying like the Knicks and the Pacers. The Knicks and the Pacers were like the 2 teams in the East that like are bar none, like should be like the top 2, and like the Pacers are a completely. Your premise was they were the a game of winning, close to winning the title 2 years ago. They're a completely different team potentially.
Well, Zubac may be actually better than Miles Turner, though, at this point.
I think he is.
I don't think for the way I'd definitely not for the style they were playing when they went to the finals.
No, I understand that, but what I'm doing is showing respect for a team that really didn't get to defend their Eastern Conference title crown because of
I get what you're doing.
So and I think it's like, the interesting thing with LeBron is the teams he's on, they don't win in year one. So we've projected that at 41 years old, now is going to be the time that year one works to a championship level.
It's a good roster. It's a good roster.
I think they had a pretty good roster all the other places he went to in year one, too.
I would say that everywhere else he went year one was the worst version of the team. I don't think this team is necessarily going to get better.
I think it will, because I think they'll figure out what Embiid is or isn't, plus Edgecombe finding his role in his second, third year.
Sure. But my point is that, Edgecombe, getting better, okay, sure. That's like when the Spurs had Kawhi and he got better. I get that. But I don't, what I'm saying is I don't see an iteration of them getting better via trade. Or adding free agents and things of that nature. It would have to be internal.
Maybe
I don't think Embiid's contract is tradable.
Oh, I do.
All right. Well,
I don't buy that.
This was a rough way to end the week.
What do you mean rough way to end the week?
Ev, I'm getting a lot of your left side of your face on First Take, whereas on Unsportsmanlike, I get a lot of the right side of your face. Do you have a preference, left or right?
You know what you learned? Yeah, Kappy, you know what you learned?
Tell me.
My preference is Jordan Rogers' face.
Understandably so.
I am so. You know what you realize after this week? Boy, did I get ugly and fat.
I get that. And hey, soon you'll add in old, ugly, and fat.
The big three. The new big three. Got
That's
it all.
right.
All right, I got to go pee in a bottle.
Me too. I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Andy, thank you for your help today. Everybody have a great weekend. Kappy and Benno will be back Monday at 7 a.m. And, yeah. That's it.
Come on, Berg.
I mean, that was a nuggety drop.